here. And then I have to go here.
Hi, Chris and Marina.
Well, guess what, y'all? Marina's not
Surprise!
here. She got stuck in the hollow shadow.
You're seeing it now, right? Okay, ready?
I don't know yet. Are they seeing it now?
They should be. I'm seeing it online right now. They can hear us now.
Well,
Hey, I think everybody can hear us. That's what it seems like. Let's see if everybody's here.
I think y'all heard us that whole time.
Yeah, that's odd.
hello.
But hey, pumpkins!
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, I think they heard us that whole time,
I think we're good now.
which is why I just didn't stop talking.
Here we are. How's everyone doing today?
Hey, everybody. Is everybody... Can you hear us? Love this. People are saying they love this. So this is going to be kind of a first that we're doing this. And you might notice we're missing somebody. Marina has decided to take the evening off. We have a good amount of space here for 3 people. We could have fit 4 easily. But
Totally.
This is more of a Halloween thing, and Marina's thing is Christmas. She goes to me with all these Halloween events. But, yeah, she's taking the night off. But she is in the chat, as you can see, letting us know that she could hear us talking.
Yelling at us?
And look, everybody's all saying here. But yeah, tonight we finished up Midsummer Scream last night. We had all been there since Friday evening, Saturday, all day Sunday. We went to all the key panels. We saw the show floor and figured we'd talk tonight about mainly all of the
Halloween
haunts. The Halloween haunts that are going to be coming up this season. Give you our thoughts, share some of the stuff that we got to see, and hopefully answer any questions if you guys have any for us about the stuff.
It was the longest, fastest weekend of
It
my
was.
life.
It was very, very, very long.
It was, and very quick. Yeah,
Yeah.
Nico was right. It flew by.
Yeah, and to get certain spots, we ended up having to wait in lots of lines.
Yep.
It was very hot and very sweaty most of the time.
But we did.
But that's the way it goes.
But worth it.
That is the way it goes. But, yeah, I don't know if you guys have anything to say right off the bat, or should we just jump right into it?
I don't think I have anything. Let's
Yeah,
jump right in.
I'm
Let's
excited.
recap.
And are we doing something towards the end of the night, too?
Maybe.
I think Nico might be doing something tonight
Maybe.
that Noah doesn't even know about.
I don't even know
Yeah.
now.
But this is going to be good. Let's, we're going to switch over to, and this is going to date me, but we're going to show a PowerPoint presentation. This is just an easier way rather than me jump into websites and put everything in thoughts. But you guys will be able to see our computer screen. You'll be able to see us down in the bottom right-hand corner as we're talking and giving comments. And we'll go over each section, and we'll keep monitoring the chat, see if you guys have any questions. Let me switch over to here.
Yeah, please ask questions, because we're going to be
Please do.
looking back and forth between the chat
Absolutely.
and like what we're talking about.
Hey,
and
Tony.
we will answer things as we're talking about them. So if we're talking all things knots and you have a knots question, write it down and we will answer as we're talking about it.
Yes.
Yes, we will. All right. So I'm switching over to here.
And at least it's not an overhead projector.
Yes, there's no overhead.
that
There's
would
no
be-
slide transparencies. If you guys remember those.
With
But
a
you should
clicker.
see us all down in the bottom right-hand corner. And Marina's probably
see-through
wondering why I
papers.
never had the picture-in-picture working for our other chats. But yeah, I figured out how to do it tonight. Are you a Zoom? Maybe. Maybe a little bit. But make
We're
sure
just
everybody can
holograms.
still hear us. Right? Since I'm on another source, I've got the mic on the camera still up.
You could hear
I
us.
think everybody
Let us
can
know.
hear us.
Let us know.
And if
Just
we
no
start
laser
blocking,
pointer.
no laser pointers. If we block things down in the bottom right corner with the picture-in-picture on some of the slides, I'll turn it off. But you guys should be able to see everything, but we'll get started. So we figured we'll start off with a doozy. This is going to be Castle Dark. So, I know this may not be an event that everybody has been to in the past. We all went last year, and we actually had a really good time, but it wasn't necessarily because of the mazes.
Yes, correct.
However, this year they made a bunch of new announcements that actually got us a little bit excited about what they're going to do.
Yeah.
We are definitely going to be going this year. It's going to be their 15th anniversary.
Did they have a panel?
They didn't really have a panel. They just made a bunch of announcements on Fright.
Told us, and then he posted a bunch of stuff on the website.
So we were talking to Joseph over there. We also deal with Mandy over there at Castle Park. But they did a bunch of announcements what they were going to do on Friday. We spoke with them as well, and we'll cover some of those things and talk about the things we're excited for, things we're not excited for, and we'll go from there.
Next slide.
Here we go.
Oh, wow, good job.
So they announced 5 haunted experiences. This includes mazes as well as shows. So they have 2 new mazes, 2 interactive shows, and what I'm super excited about is a new haunted ride, an overlay attraction to something we haven't seen in the past. So we'll talk about the mazes first, everybody. So they have the first maze. It's going to be the Cinema of Fear. And this copy comes directly from their website. But it's going to be bold enough to enter an abandoned theater with terrifying film and actors who escape them. Step into an all-new Cinema of Fear experience to see if you have what it takes. Now, the mazes last year left a little bit to be desired, especially one called Morgana's Revenge. It was a lot of black walls, not a whole lot going on, but it seems like they're really trying to step things up. And one thing Castle Park has is they have the heritage. I mean, you guys, and I always forget the guy's name. Is it Bud?
Bud Hurlbut.
So Bud Hurlbut is the gentleman that worked at Knott's and helped start the Halloween haunt there, left there and actually opened up Castle Park, and they started doing a Halloween event soon after Knott's started theirs.
Yeah.
So they've got this heritage of all these haunts, and we're hoping that they bring some of that magic to this year's event. So this is one of the new mazes. Didn't tell you so much about it, except for we're going to be inside of an abandoned theater, and we're going to be there with the actors that escaped the movie. So it sounds like it might be a good theme.
Where is this one at?
I don't know exactly where it is in the park. I don't think
He
it's
told us where it was.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
I don't think.
And I don't remember. I don't remember what the other ones were.
Because he said some. I don't remember. He said something's replacing Morgana's Revenge.
I think it's this.
This one was replacing Morgana's. The other one was in the where the water park is, right?
That's a whole different
experience.
Thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I think this one's replacing, like, right in the, I think, front of the castle.
Okay.
Is like where this one's gonna be.
Okay.
So nothing from last year is coming back, maze-wise.
Correct. Wait, maze-wise, they're brand new.
This last year we had like a circus-themed house. We had Morgana's Revenge, which was supposed to be like a Merlin versus Morgana type duel, I guess. But we didn't really see much of that, unfortunately. And then the third one was, I feel like it was more of like a house.
Yes, it was like a
funeral parlor. I think a mix and match type thing.
Yeah,
like
I think it was too.
Your classic haunted house. But from what I've seen and what I've heard, none of that is coming back this year. But Cinema of Fear sounds awesome.
I am excited for it.
Yes, same here.
One thing I do hope that Castle Dark does is cover their mazes, because they're all open air.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like it'd be a lot scarier if it was covered, more dark, especially with one of these experiences that are coming.
True. And I will say, if this Cinema of Fear takes over the old Morgana's Revenge area, it's a big space. Like, Morgana's Revenge, you were walking through that thing for quite a few minutes. So I'm excited that they get to start fresh, start brand new, do something completely different. And Cinema of Fear, I feel like, is pretty... There's so much horror movies, and there's tons of
content
cinema that is horror. So they can totally play up on a lot of that, and I think they can totally fill that space with enough.
Correct. I don't think there's going to be any, like, popular IP attached to any of these things.
No, but they
there
can
may
totally
be some characters
knock
in there.
off.
They could do some knockoffs and characters.
Stuff.
But I love horror movies. I will watch just about anything. Bad, good, it doesn't really matter. I will watch it.
That's
most
very
of it.
true.
Most of the time.
Yeah, Cinema of Fear.
Yeah, Cinema of Fear.
It sounds convincing. I'm super excited for it.
Yeah, and this next one, I'm a little bit excited about as well. This is Night Shift.
Night Shift, yes.
So this is actually going to be an interactive experience where you are the main character. They're going to transform you into a new security guard and investigate our warehouse. Why have our toys been acting up? What has invaded our facility? Who is responsible for the mayhem? Only you can find out on your night shift. I know. The cool part is we're going to have flashlights as our only illumination source throughout the mazes. So I don't know if they'll have any control over the flashlights. Probably not.
I would say not. I would
But
say
if
it's
they're
almost like a
making
knock
noises and you're
situation.
pointing flashlights at stuff, they have a good way to get a lot of jump scares knowing that you're controlling the light source. The only concern I have in this one is that if there's multiple people in the maze at the exact same time, we've lit up the entire room now. So hopefully they're pretty dim flashlights. Because I only want to see what they want me to do. If there's a noise, I want to point at and see something.
Yeah.
Not
Yes.
everybody pointing around, looking around the room, and now it's a...
Correct.
Hopefully that's been taken into consideration.
But I mean, if they have a certain number of flashlights too, it'll almost be impossible to put.
Unless they're really
kind of
dim.
feeling.
They could just be dim just enough to let you barely see, so they don't light up the whole thing. We hope so.
But this is where I was saying with the last slide, where I hope these mazes are covered.
Correct. That'll make a huge
Because-
difference.
Night Shift is... night
It
night
is.
Shift.
We are working the night shift at the warehouse.
I want it to be completely dark. I want my only light source to be that flashlight with some effects. I don't want any moonlight coming in, anything. So,
Yes, I agree.
again, sounds very convincing.
I think it does. You know, and if they only do have 2 mazes, hopefully you would think it would allow them to put extra resources and make those 2 mazes the best that they can do.
Yeah.
Where some of these places try to pull off, you know, we saw this at Hollywood Hayride last year, where they had a bunch of different mazes, and I think a lot of them were lacking because they didn't focus. They should have focused on 3 really good mazes rather than try to do 5 or 6 and go for the race.
Correct.
I mean, it's interesting. This year Knott's has 10 and Universal only has 8. So, I mean, let's be curious to see what they pull off. I'm really pulling for Castle Park on this one.
I am too. And congratulations on your 15 years.
15 years
True,
ago.
that's
I
crazy.
know.
One thing I was noting walking around Midsummer Scream was everybody is celebrating some sort of anniversary this year.
They were.
Yes.
Everybody is. It's like insane. Like everybody started it on the exact same like time.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, this is going to be the second maze that they're going to have. Obviously, we'll all be there when they open up, and we'll be covering it in our own unique way.
Better be scarier than Screamin' Demon.
It better be. I don't know that there's anything possible to be scarier
I-
than Screaming Demon.
After, I don't think so.
I don't think so
After that
either.
experience,
Yeah, we all thought we were going to end up on the 91 freeway
We did.
when we were on Screaming Demon.
that first
And their
year-
log ride's opening.
Oh, the
We
log
have
ride,
to
you're
do
right.
the log ride.
We have to do the log ride. We'll have to do that one at Castle Park.
Halloween
Scary.
Hootenanny 2.0.
Exactly. Let's see here.
That scares me.
All right, so the next one's going to be an interactive show. This is going to be called Shipwreck Cove. And it says, set sail into Shipwreck Cove, home to Captain Eris and his cursed crew. Will you survive the shrieks of the deadly pirates, sirens, and mysterious creatures that live in the depths of the sea? Now, we know nothing about this except for what I just read.
Yeah, we don't
But this
know.
is supposed to be an interactive show. So I don't know if this is one of their walking parade style shows. Is it going to be a dedicated stage where they're going to do a show? I have
Is this
no idea.
not the one in the water park?
Because I think
I don't know.
Yeah, I think this
I
is
think
the
their water park is called Shipwreck something.
Gonna look
I
it
don't
up
remember what
right
it's called.
now.
I want to say this is the one in their water park.
Oh. It
All
would
right,
make
I
sense called
accept
Shipwreck.
your cookie.
Shipwreck Cove.
Buccaneer Cove.
Buccaneer Cove.
So I would say this
I would
is
hope
it.
so.
I would
hope
say
so.
this is the one
So
inside.
I would
It's
also
not
just
called-
bring your swimsuits just in case. Because who knows what could happen.
Maybe. Yeah, not a ton of information. I'm sure we'll hear more about it hopefully as we get closer to it. But it's an interactive show. So it's
Yeah,
not just
correct.
a show. It is supposed to have some interactivity, which I think is what everybody's trying to go for. I mean,
Yeah.
we said this kind of last year. 2 years ago was the first time that I got to go see Delusion from 13th Floor, which is about as immersive and interactive as you can get, I think, for a Halloween event. And then we saw some interactivity come from Knott's, who had done some stuff in the past,
Yes.
but I think they tried it a little bit more with some of the newer mazes. And I think we're going to try to see a little bit of that. But I think it's a really, really difficult thing to pull off. Like with Knott's
It will
last
be.
year. With Bloodline, I think the idea sounded great, but it didn't really work when you try to have 20 people be interactive at the same time.
Correct.
Or with Grimoire, the same. If you were in the back of the room, you missed kind of the whole pre-show around the campfire.
Correct.
So
So hopefully they'll pull something off. I know it's not a maze; it's just more of a show. But I'll be curious to see what they say.
And it was all our first year at Castle Dark last year, right?
Mm-hmm. It was.
Okay, so we have nothing to even go off of besides stuff we saw last year.
What I would say is it can only be better. I would hope.
I would hope. They have Ghost Blasters too.
They do have Ghost Blasters too. So if all else fails, miniature golf,
Ghost Blasters 2 and
Ghost
Golf.
and Ghost Blasters 2.
I wonder if
it's a fun night.
I wonder if this will be more family friendly, since it is an interactive show. So like the interactivity is for kids.
I don't know,
because last year we saw a ton of kids.
We did
at the event.
I think that park gets it because so many theme parks are so expensive. And one thing that's super important is this event. If you bought tickets and they were still on sale this morning, they're only $15 a person. They're normally $25.
Yeah.
So this is not a $130 Oogie Boogie Bash or a $80 not scary farm. This is something you could actually bring a family to without breaking the bank.
Yeah. Well, now they are $24.99.
Oh, they did change.
Oh, they're back.
This morning they were still as low as $15 on the front page. I could choose
back.
it.
It is
well,
back.
hopefully you guys listen, everybody.
Yeah, Midsummer Scream deal.
Yes.
Yes. It is back to $24.99, but that's still not.
It's still a great deal. Family of 4 is $100. I would buy one Oogie Boogie Bash ticket.
What I was also telling my friend the other day was this is a perfect introduction to Haunt.
It is.
Place.
It is.
If you don't know if your kid's gonna like Haunt, maybe try Castle Dark. If you don't know if you're gonna like it, Castle Dark's a good option. So this is definitely one of those where you're like, I gotta feel the water really quickly and not break the bank trying to do so.
I agree. And Joseph, one of the guys at Castle Park, who Maureen and I, on our first year of doing our YouTube channel, went over to Boomers to one of their Halloween events, and it was a Halloween miniature golf course. And they had a family-friendly course, and they had a scarier course. And I have to tell you, even though it was one of our first events ago, it was really good. You're out there putting, and there's all these figures out in the course, and you get close to one, all it jumps out and grabs you. It had all these creepy animatronics and stuff. It was a fun event for the family, kind of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Even the scarier part wasn't too bad.
And they better have the Spanish doll.
Oh, that's right. They have the doll that's speaking
Spanish.
No, there's this huge theme, obviously, with other things. They're getting into some of these other cultures that I think is phenomenal for this haunt season. I want to see monsters I don't know about. I don't need another mummy. I don't need another vampire. I don't need some of these classic ones. I want new, scary things that I don't know about.
Correct.
And then you get to learn the backstory behind them. I'm in.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I told you I'd perk right up as soon as we started.
I know, but I'm just the doll that was speaking Spanish in the house the maze last year was hilarious.
I don't remember exactly.
Crawling on the floor and everything.
Oh, the girl.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
That's what I was talking
That's
about.
not the animatronic. This was the girl that her costume wasn't tucked into the front of her hair either.
Correct.
Yes.
Oh yeah, she was awful.
It was amazing. I loved it. And then
it was
Boo
good,
and the cotton
bad.
Candy machine.
Boo and the cotton candy.
Boo
machine.
and the cotton candy machine was.
That was a great Instagram moment.
Hilarious.
Was what that was.
Hilarious.
All right. So the second interactive show is Slider Alley. I think this is a little bit self-explanatory, but it does say "Giddy up" into Slider Alley, located in Sawmill Country. Cowboys galore revive from the dead to slide in for a slash at Castle Dark. So these are going to be cowboy sliders, dead cowboy sliders.
All right.
Not much to say there.
There's really not much to say. Last year they had an area set up where you can come over, you can watch a bunch of sliders, and apparently this year they'll be dead cowboys.
Cool.
Because that goes really well with the medieval theme of a castle.
Correct.
So we're good. But that's going to be fine. Everybody loves watching sliders.
True.
So that's the second one. And then the part that I think I'm super excited about is the Haunted Highway.
Yes.
So yeah, this is based off the antique car ride. That was originally at Knott's many, many years ago. Walter Knott donated it to Castle Park, and we've gone on it every time we've gone there.
Every time.
I can't. I'm too big. Unless I can actually put both of my legs, one on each side of the vehicle. That's how tiny they are.
And
his
this
legs
year,
go outside
the vehicle. So they don't let me ride it. But this year it says, take a trip on our iconic antique cars turned haunted highway for the Halloween season. Enjoy the thrill of a lifetime driving through a pumpkin patch cemetery. This Halloween, take the scenic route if you dare.
Now, I'm hoping this is one of those things where they add scare actors in there and they don't just kind of throw pumpkins and scarecrows in it and call it a spooky thing. I hope there's at least one or two in there. I know it'll be hard to hide them because it's all open. You can see everything. But it would still be cool driving around and getting jumped out at.
No, I know.
Would be
But
awesome.
this shows something like you have somebody like Castle Dark that's actually going to do a haunted overlay of an attraction, which we don't get very much from our local Disneyland. We get one or two things, but even other Disney parks go much better than what Disneyland does.
Correct.
What do you think, Nico?
I'm excited for it. Like you guys said, I hope it's not just like little animatronics that pop out at you.
Yeah, I want to get you scared. You can't crash the car or anything.
I want a few people on leashes popping out at you, just so they don't get ran over.
So they don't get run over.
But yeah, the antique cars are always a highlight.
Yeah, and we kind of had this discussion last year when we rode the little train, the miniature train around the park. How awesome it would be if people jumped out at the train when you're on that little car. So that would be a cool thing to do. So hopefully this will be a good event. We're pretty excited for it.
We are excited for it.
But this is kind of what we have for Castle Dark to talk about.
All right, I'm game. I'm excited for it.
I'm pretty excited for it.
Questions on Castle Park? If you have
guys.
any questions on Castle Park, ask away now and we will answer them. If not,
we're going to move on. We're going to move on.
I do remember before Castle Dark, though, they had a haunt called Chambers of the Mausoleum.
Oh.
And it was just a big cathedral in the parking lot of Castle Park. Like to the left of the carnival.
Okay.
And it was just one maze. But it was long. And you had like tour guides taking you throughout. And it's kind of like how Halloween Horror Nights is now with like pedals and all that. But it was one of the coolest haunted houses I've ever been into.
that's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's it.
That is absolutely awesome.
Try to kill some time to see if there's any questions.
I don't think we got any
that's what
questions.
we want. You know, like I said, I mean, I love the horror movies. I love these haunts, but you guys know way more about the history of some of these places than I do.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys, there was a long period of time where I didn't go to these events. I did them as a kid. I missed a bunch of years, and now we're back in it full bore.
I don't think we got any questions on Castle Park.
Hopefully the cinema one has Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Can you imagine if I would love Leatherface,
That'd be
all the
awesome.
classic characters.
That would be cool.
Well, to be fair, sorry to keep it going.
No, you're
but
good.
We have Haunted Harvest, and they have a new theme this year
They do?
with cinema movies and Haunt Buster, the Notflix killer, and I think they're going to be using a lot of like movie slashers. So Freddy, Jason,
Yep.
Leatherface. So I don't see why Castle Dark couldn't use them, unless they'd get in trouble.
We're hearing about hearing any and all history.
All right.
So you and Noah need to get stuff out there. All right.
Moving on.
We're going to move on from Castle Dark, and we're going to go to Six Flags Fright Fest, sponsored
go.
by Snickers. I don't think there is a logo of this event without
I was trying to look
Snickers
for one
involved.
too. Oh my gosh.
So Snickers must have paid a lot. But it's funny, when you go to the description of all the different mazes or scare zones, some of them say sponsored by Snickers, some of them don't.
Oh.
So we'll see where all that money went.
Oh, hello.
Wow, you're just turning it up.
Turned it up.
I guess my phone did.
Before we
my
start,
watch.
Yes.
was last year your first year there?
I didn't go to the actual Fright Fest last year. The only thing I went
So
to...
you've never been to Fright Fest?
No.
Nico.
I've always heard it was bad, though.
So
okay.
last year would have been my second year. Unfortunately, Six Flags had to postpone the actual media event, and we could come whenever we want, but schedules and things conflicted.
Got it.
The year before that, 2019? I don't know. I've only been to Fright Fest once.
I'm the same way. I've only
But-
been once. And not last year. It was 2 years ago.
Yes. But it was an awesome event. It was new. The houses were great. The scare zones are fantastic. And
I went when they had I want to say Ghostbuster or Ghost Adventure House or something like that. It was like Discovery Plus or something. They were promoting with like
yes.
and then there was a maze with the sewer. You went
So-
down in the sewer and it was like touching your feet, like rats were going by.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Willoughbys.
That was the year I went.
Willoughbys Resurrected. It was the same house. I don't really think they had anything extra in it for the Discovery Plus. I think they were just advertising
The Discovery
with the
Plus.
house,
Yeah.
kind of like with the Snickers logo.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I think that's the year I went also. But yeah, the monsters in the scare zones are fantastic.
They're
true. Iconic. The makeup team at Six Flags does an incredible job. Like,
True.
It's so good.
Next slide, Chris.
Next slide.
But
okay.
I thought, what I always heard, and forgive me, not necessarily from you guys, that the event actually lacked quite a bit, that the houses weren't as good.
They are not Knott's Berry Farm Universal status. I would put them right up there with, like, some good Home Haunts, maybe some Castle Dark. But I wouldn't put them in the category of Delusion and Knott's and Universal.
Yeah.
So,
but not bad. Not the worst thing I've ever been to.
So we had the opportunity to go to the Scream Break event where they just had two haunts here this last spring, thanks to Nico, and we had a great time. I mean, I thought the homes, the houses, the mazes were phenomenal. I thought the set design was great, the haunts were great, the people were great. We had a really good time, which got me really excited about this year's Fright Fest. And we were there at the show this week. We actually got to meet Michael Ostrom, who's in charge of all the entertainment at Six Flags.
Super cool guy.
And super cool guy. And the Scream Break event was his very first event after he took it over.
Yeah.
And he's now focusing on making Fright Fest what he wants it to be, and what we all want it to be.
That's awesome.
So it got me really excited about it. But Six Flags is going to go all out this year.
And I think he's doing that based on the announcements we have heard.
I think so too.
And one more thing is what I like about Fright Fest is it has that more classic Halloween feel, where like Knott's goes like, I guess everything's immersive, but I guess like in the early 2000s, late 90s, like everything felt, I don't know how to explain it. It just has a classic Halloween,
I get it,
spooky feel. If like you watch a movie and people are walking through a haunted house, like that's what Fright Fest feels like to me.
Okay.
And it's still super fun. And yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I saw Lizelle asked if she thought maybe they'd have the same mazes or announcements for the Six Flags in Texas. I'm guessing they're all going to be a little bit different.
I would say they're all...
I don't know about the major IP announcements that happen, which I have at the end of this. Maybe they'll have some of those at the other parks, but that would be a lot to pull off to do, I think.
I don't know.
I don't know, because I think it's kind of like Knott's Scary Farm or Knott's Berry Farm with Cedar Fair, where every park has its own
based on
thing.
budgets and travel.
Creative director.
Oh, yeah. So, if you take a look at everything they're offering, so they're going to have 8 different mazes, 7 scare zones, and then, is that a 1 or a 4? I think 4. 4 entertainment areas.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. That is. Now, entertainment areas, what they call those things, I think they're called monster areas or whatever. They're not all entertainment areas. They consider their bar to be an entertainment area.
Got it.
So, we'll get to there. So, take a look at the mazes. I left the best ones for last, and we'll go through these a little bit quick. But the first one was Condemned House Party. Now, this is one of the ones that happened at Scream Break that I really liked. I mean, it was literally a bunch of frat people that got wasted too much. They died. There were people, skeletons with their heads hanging in toilets from throwing out too much. You had drunk people. And one of the coolest things I ever saw or experienced there was you're in this room and they have you walk in between the walls. So, I mean, I had to squeeze my way through these walls. I mean, I literally had to get sideways to squeeze through this thing to get out to the other side, and they would have you go one direction or another direction, and the 3 times we went through it, I ended up having to go through the wall. And it was pretty crazy. But
that's crazy.
Yeah, Condemned Heart, beware the souls who lived in this dilapidated frat house. They're dying to keep the party alive. But I thought the actors were great. I mean, this definitely... I think what made this one work is that the age of the scare actors were the exact age of a frat party.
Got it.
So I think they fit in really, really well.
Makes sense.
But this was a good maze. I think you can. I think Marina's probably going to post a link to our video of this event that we did just a few months ago.
So is that the first year they're doing House Party?
I don't remember what it was called. Was it Condemned House Party last year?
I'm not sure. Let me just check real quick.
Because it says a Scream Break fan favorite.
So before it was Condemned or Condemned Forever Damned. So I think they're just carrying the frat party over into a house party.
Okay.
So it will be still, I guess, a new theme, just not the college theme.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It says a frat house, so I don't know. We'll see. So the next one is going to be Truth or Dare. It says, in a warped game of Truth or Dare, the unknown lurking in the shadows will leave you questioning your every move.
What I hope for this is that they do something completely immersive and make you pick between Truth or Dare and go through a certain side that you want. Do, have one thing be one way and something else be another way. And I've seen it done in mazes. I've been through mazes that were like that. So it's possible. I just, based on that image there, it looks like it's almost like a maze of like...
Yeah, that's what they got maze. But, interactive could mean you can go multiple directions and see different things. You go through it, which could be kind of cool. I don't know. Is this a maze that existed before, last year?
So this is the second year for this maze.
Okay.
Before that, it was Red's Revenge, which was a Little Red Riding Hood maze, and she became the queen of the lichen.
Okay.
And it was
just
actually
like in the normal story.
A pretty cool maze.
Okay.
Sure. But this maze is the reason why I won't say the reason why I didn't go, but they opened this maze late, like halfway through the Halloween season. Last year.
Because it wasn't ready, you think?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
wow.
Unfortunately, I didn't go through it, but what I've seen were just a lot of black walls. Black walls, black walls, black walls.
I think there were some staffing issues last year still.
Yeah, I feel like all events have been having staffing issues since we come back from COVID. Hopefully it gets resolved.
I hope so.
And hopefully there's a lot more theming in this.
Yeah.
I'm interested, but not excited.
You're right, Lucas. That guy does look very, very creepy. I have a feeling we're going to run right into him as well.
I think so.
I think we're going to have to go say, I'm going to tell him you said he looked creepy too, by the way.
I think so.
I see. Susan said, I know that in Universal would use the makeup that was on the show Face Off, which was season 5. I don't know if it has been a while since they used the makeup, or am I wrong? I don't know, Susan.
Well, I think we'll get into Halloween Horror Nights in a bit, but they did have a house at Universal called Universal House of Horrors Face Off. It was something Face Off. So they used characters that was in the Face Off show. It was only for 1 year. And
plus they've had scare zones in Orlando that were also Face Off.
Were they?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we'll go to the next one, which is Willoughbys Resurrected. The Willoughbys family mansion tale unfolds before your eyes at this once affluent Victorian mansion that became a haven to evil spirits.
Ooh.
Haunted house. And she's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Cute.
So, don't know anything about this. Is this a continuing one as well?
This one has been around for a very long time.
Okay.
Very long time. I don't know how long, but I feel like it's been around too long.
It should be Willoughbys Resurrected, the next generation.
It
Times
should just be
7.
resurrected again.
Again. Well, let's hope that they're gonna spruce it up and make it something new for us, even though it's the same theme. We can hope so.
Very well themed house. Just it's run its course.
Okay. Yeah, we don't want to see the same thing every single year.
Next.
All right, we have Vault 666 unlocked. This was at Scream Break as well.
Okay.
Demonic relics and obsolete oddities are locked in an abandoned vault in this dark and sinister antique shop.
This was there when we went, because I walked through this.
So this is an older maze as well.
Yes, this is an older maze.
Yeah.
Wow.
And this maze was also the first movie tie-in maze that they had at Six Flags, from my knowledge, for Hellfest.
Oh, okay.
So it was the exact same house, just with some Hellfest characters running around.
See, this is one of the things that I really thought this and the Condemned house party, or the frat party thing, were really, really good at Scream Break. And I don't know if it was because my expectations were low, based on what I had heard, but they exceeded my expectations. So I'm really hoping, especially with this Michael, this new guy on board in charge of entertainment, they're really going to make it to where something that makes people want to go to this every year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping so. Then we have Sewer of Souls. Vanish into an underground world of lost souls and terrifying funnels, where funnels. Whatever it means,
funnels.
Probably tunnels.
Funnels, where evil oozes and creatures taunt. I'm going to mention something. So this is Six Flags, and I cut and pasted this. I didn't type this, but them and Castle Park, you need to spell check all your descriptions on your website. Way too many errors.
Whoops.
Just whoops. Oops. Oops.
I think we did this too. It might not have been called that, but that's exactly the maze. It sounds like the exact same one that I was talking about, where you're down in the sewers and it feels like there's stuff around your feet. And
Well, see, if you're in a sewer, so we all did Huntington Beach Manor last year.
correct.
We did.
And we were in a sewer. And we had water falling on us. We had rats running around, rats coming out of the wall. That was a very, very good sewer.
Correct.
Which I don't think is coming back this year, by the way.
I don't think
we
so.
saw it,
But
we're not gonna.
this had an effect that I don't ever see at haunted houses, where they make it feel like stuff is crawling at your feet.
Okay.
You don't have a
I'm
lot
all
of
for
haunted
that.
houses that do stuff like that. So it was cool walking through it, and then like, what the heck is at my feet? And you're
Okay.
hearing rats crawling around. It was pretty cool.
It was a
I like
very
it.
it was a very
I
decent
like it.
maze, and it's all in UV light.
Oh,
True.
okay.
So
Everything's kind of
no 3D glasses,
all bright.
just UV lights. This house or this maze and Willoughbys haunted or Willoughbys resurrected are both over by Ninja,
Okay.
the roller coaster. Condemned and Vault 666 and Truth or Dare are more by Full Throttle
Okay.
in the front of the park.
Mhm.
So if you want to picture where they are, that's where they are.
And we have Aftermath Chaos Rising.
I
The
think
city
we
of
did
Ash
this too.
Valley is threatened with the release
What's
of
that?
deadly
I
poison.
said I think we did this too.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think
Yes.
everything we've done so far is
This one had
amazing.
fire effects though.
Really?
So
Like coming out of a building, like whoa. I was like, what?
Oh wow.
what's cool about this house or maze, is a lot of the set design is from the old Batman stunt show.
Oh wow.
So you're walking outside and there's a tall bank building and a flamethrower shoots
Wow.
a
So was,
flame out at you.
It's cool.
was it Aftermath 2 Chaos Rising last year, or was it just Aftermath Chaos Rising? I just see the big 2 behind
I
it.
couldn't tell you.
Is this the sequel? Is this
But I think it's been here a
extra
couple
chaos?
years.
More
Because
chaos?
I
It
didn't
has
go
been-
last year, and
Okay.
I did this 2
Okay.
years ago.
Okay.
Getting a lot of not my maze videos.
No
so
worries.
Don't
So
know.
we'll move on to the next one, and this I think surprised everybody.
And
Oh,
sorry,
yes.
this
No,
one
no.
is over by Apocalypse.
Oh,
the
okay.
wood roller coaster.
Yep.
So
So I think these next 2 slides are
Yes.
going to amaze everybody.
Yes.
So out of all the theme parks in the world, Six Flags got the Conjuring,
Conjuring.
as a brand new maze. So this is new. It says, dare to enter the secluded farmhouse of the Perron family that have been terrorized and plagued by sinister spirits, inspired by the 2013 film The Conjuring.
that's incredible.
This is incredible. And I think there was people are excited, but they're really concerned.
Yes.
Yes.
I am
think-
one of those people.
Same.
And I understand, but I can't imagine the studio giving up such an amazing popular IP like The Conjuring without a commitment from the theme park to go all out on it. I just can't
True.
imagine that, because they're not going to run the risk of damaging the
brand.
Conjuring universe, the brand, by
That's
letting
very
somebody
true.
do a half-assed job on it.
That's very true, but I think if you're putting all the Conjuring universe movies together, The Conjuring doesn't really place in the tops of those movies. I think there's better movies within the Conjuring universe.
Yeah, to me, the first one always stands out as being probably maybe the top of the list.
I don't know. You gotta really put everything in.
I mean, think about how many.
You gotta put all
these other
the Annabelles
movies-
in there. You
Yeah,
gotta
but
put
they
the
all
Nun.
came
You
from
gotta put a
this.
La Llorona in there.
Right.
You gotta put a Conjuring. You gotta put
But
a million
but
other.
Annabelle
Conjuring.
came
this.
from The Conjuring, right? I mean, this is the
The demon on top of the wardrobe.
yeah. This
Yeah.
was I really
Yeah.
enjoyed it. So
Um,
I'm super excited about this one.
I'm super stoked too. I have high hopes for this. I hope Six Flags and Warner Brothers puts a lot of money into this.
I hope so too.
I hope the talent captains who are in charge of the scare actors keep everybody on top of their game, because you're portraying characters in an amazing movie, so you have to stay on top of it.
But you also got to think, reading this description, inspired by the 2013 film The Conjuring. I don't think Annabelle was in it yet.
She
I don't
was.
think-
She was.
Was she?
Yeah, she
a
was in it.
prominent character in it?
No,
though?
not a prominent character. She was in the movie though. She was
For
you
like
saw
a
the-
split second. I don't think she had a
so.
storyline at that point. And then I don't think the Nun was even a part of it
Wasn't
yet.
Annabelle the
The Nun was in 2.
The
correct?
Nun was in 2.
Correct.
Annabelle, I think, had a moment, and then they did the spin-off of her own movie.
Right.
Which then told her story, which then did it again. So I don't know
Did
if
it
we're going to
again.
be seeing those characters
I would
too
think so.
much
I
in the
think you
maze.
have to see the room that he has of all the evil stuff, and she has to be in there. I mean, that room is key to the whole
Yeah, no, that room
point.
is key. That room is key. I think we might see that.
Okay.
But I don't think we're going to have storylines of Annabelle and storylines of the nun in this.
The crazy part, this was 10 years ago when The Conjuring came out.
And
You weren't even old enough to watch it, Noah.
But I did watch
Of
it.
course you did.
Universal, the rumor was supposed to do The Conjuring
I remember you telling me this.
back in 2017, but something happened and it became Titans of Terror.
Just like Evil Dead Rise.
So
Yanked.
we will see.
But super excited about this
yes,
one.
so stoked.
I was about a living dead doll of the nun. I think that's awesome.
That's
I do love the nun. I think the character is much better than the movie, unfortunately. But yeah, Valak. Let's see here. All right. So the other one that I'm excited for, but not super excited for, just because the content was, but it was still a surprise, was Saw 10 or Saw X.
Mm-hmm.
Says new, the experience, the return of Jigsaw as you attempt to survive his ingenious and terrifying traps in the untold chapter of his most personal game yet, inspired by the upcoming release from the Lionsgate and Twisted Pictures film Saw X or Saw 10. Watched the trailer for the movie last night,
Watch the trailer. Yeah.
and it's the same story, just to find out who fake cured him and got him all pissed off and started killing everybody involved.
Yeah.
It's a pretty similar story that of every single one. I don't know what the big twist is going to be. I hope it's not the twist because it looks like the girl's back again as the as the pig, because they show her pull her mask off in the trailer.
Yes.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm still. It's just a big IP again though that Six Flags got a hold of.
Yeah.
Good for them.
It's exciting, but I'm also not that excited because I didn't really care for Universal's Saw Maze.
Okay, I didn't
Because-
experience that one.
It was just the museum of all the traps
Okay,
that you've seen, and it wasn't really that scary.
so like their Midsummer screen booth, less.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Except with plastic coverings.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like, had to
So if this is just more of a walk-through museum with the pig popping out at you, I won't really care
Okay.
that much.
okay.
But I'm excited to see what Six Flags could do with this IP.
Well,
True.
yeah, it'll be interesting. It is nice to see IP inside of the theme park. So I'm really hoping they're going to hold Six Flags to a standard.
I think they
I
will.
think they will also.
And not on purpose, I saw one of the scenes from Saw X,
You did.
which
Quite the
was
experience.
pretty gross. Pretty
That
gross.
is, that is the. I can't even imagine watching the writers of this sitting there. How can we torture somebody?
Yeah.
How can
How
we
are we
torture
gonna do
murder
that?
somebody? And how many people escape? Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, not too many.
I
That's
don't
all I know.
But,
Definitely not intact.
but yeah,
True.
Not intact.
this should be interesting.
So that was all the mazes that they're going to
Cool.
have this year. And then we go into the scare zones. They're going to have City Under Siege. The clowns are loose again and running rampant through the streets. Beware what lurks in the shadows.
Always a fun one.
Yeah.
So I guess with City Under Siege, it is expanding.
Okay.
I don't know if you have that in the slide, but there is a little scare zone over by West Coast Racers,
Okay.
and it was more of like a little gauntlet, like not really a scare zone, kind of like Horror Nights when you
Yeah. The
It's-
walk through
it's
all
a-
the clowns with chainsaws.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting because the last time I was there, they still had all the DC Gotham buildings around, and
Yeah, that's
it was
true.
a lot cooler. So
Okay.
I don't know.
We'll see.
I'm excited. These
Yeah, I do
monsters
like
are
it.
always great.
I do like a good scare zone. We have Devil's Triangle. Drift into the darkest caves of the deep blue sea where the souls of many have been lost to the Devil's Triangle. Another scare zone. I don't know where it's located at though.
I don't either. I think this was a new one from last year. I'm not too sure, but sounds interesting.
Yeah,
Excited.
it's a nautical
Yeah,
theme. You can see it
yeah.
there. As you can see the steering wheel in the background for the ship.
Yeah.
Then we have Carniv Hell. Step right up and enter, if you dare, into this once thriving circus that has been taken over by a carnivorous band of carnies.
Cool.
I know, not Carnival, but Carniv Hell.
Hell.
Carniv Hell.
Cool.
What a
Not
name.
to be confused with the ice cream company. But it is Yeah, I mean, it's more, people have a tendency to be scared of carnival workers. And that's where this comes from. And I'm sure it goes back to some of the crazy old films that let everybody believe they're all weird people.
Yeah. I wonder if this one's new. Or...
It didn't. If it said new, I kept it in there. So
okay.
I don't know if it's not or not, but
I don't remember
they didn't
this
call
one.
it out. Right? Then we have Exile Hill, not to be confused with Silent Hill. The dead have risen are looking for new souls to take on this dark and sinister hill. I'm guessing this will be located in one of the many, many hills there at the park.
And this is not new. This is like their ghost town.
Oh, okay.
This is where you have all the familiar monsters walking around.
So this one will be by Willoughbys.
Okay.
Resurrected and Sewer of Souls over by Ninja.
Okay.
That's where it was the last time I went.
Was it good?
Mm-hmm. You just know the monsters, like her.
Yeah. What's her name?
Dead girl?
Sure.
Dead
she
girl
has a
with a
name.
teddy?
Unfortunately, I can't think of it. But
Dead girl.
Living dead girl.
Here we go. All right, we got Nightmares, a Twisted Fantasy.
Okay.
This evil nightmare has never been so edgy as your favorite bedtime stories take on a new and twisted tale.
Ooh, edgy.
There's a good opportunity here to do some IP that just gone free. Some Winnie the Pooh action is what they should be doing.
Someone should have done
Some
that.
Blooded Honey.
Someone should have done that.
Correct. It's up. They can do it.
That one, I believe, is on the Forest Trail over by Viper.
Okay.
And the raft ride.
All right.
I don't know. They have some pretty iconic characters over there as well.
Okay.
Like the familiar ones.
The next one we have is Terror Tory Twisted. Steam-spewing mechanical beasts relentlessly hunt down their victims.
I did this one
2
years ago. And there were about 3 actors in it.
Okay,
So
once
let's-
again. I'm with
There
you.
are more.
I'm with you.
And that is over by Twisted Colossus.
And I think maybe our last scare zone, which is the Dead Zone. A renegade group of cyberpunk zombies feed on the flesh of unsuspected trespassers.
Sounds interesting.
Cyberpunk,
Cool.
renegades, dead people.
Trying to see the picture.
Yeah, it is hard to see the picture in this one. They were all pretty dark, but there's some glow action going on in their costumes. So lots of scare zones as you make your way from house to house to house.
Yep.
I guess.
Yeah.
Some cool stuff.
Then they have their Monstertainment. They have Sliders of the Night. Once again, another Sliders show. The Undead spark up the night for a ghoulish competition on all fours in this slide or die show.
Slide or die.
You better slide or you're going to die, apparently. Not sure exactly where that's going to be. Then we have our Unleashed, which is the gates can't hold back the monsters during Fright Fest. Witness the unruly break free every night at the City Under Siege at 7 p.m. nightly. So this must be kind of like an opening show for coming into the event, if it's every night at 7 o'clock.
Okay.
I would say yes.
I'm guessing so. It's going to be like their little ceremony or
Yes.
or something like that.
So I believe in the beginning of the night and at the end of the night.
Okay.
Monsters from all the scare zones will go to the front of the park.
And I'll come out
And
to greet everybody and say hello. All right.
Hello.
Invasion New. So this is a new Monstertainment section. This is a fun new alien experience featuring live DJs, interactive games, and a colony of extraterrestrial creatures that'll haunt your dreams. So during spring break, they had a pretty decent entertainment area. They had a lot of dead dancing folks. You guys got to meet Margarita.
We did.
At the show this week. She was great. They had some great
was
characters
awesome.
running around the area with some very large, giant, scary animatronics as well. So this will be the extraterrestrial version of that, I'm guessing.
That's cool.
So we'll have to see. But why not have a little bit of DJ action going on?
And they're
in the hot?
friendly?
I think they're going to be pretty friendly.
the government
aliens.
said they're here.
There may be some probing. I don't know.
Right.
That's what they do, is some probing.
Whoa.
But we'll have to see what happens. And then we have Spirits with Spirits. This is going to be the bar. This starts at 7 p.m. in the Full Throttle Sports Bar. Enjoy a haunted happy hour where spirits of both natures.
Ooh.
The powers could haunt you forever. Only if you drink too many of them, I'm guessing.
Like,
But
Probably.
yeah. But we had some of their scary cocktails at spring
They're
break,
good.
and they were pretty tasty.
yeah, good.
Yeah,
good,
we got
good.
to go in there last time.
They are good.
And that's kind of it for Fright Fest, but I have to admit they announced a lot.
They did.
They did.
They did.
Obviously, the biggest shock being the 2 IPs,
Yeah.
the Conjuring and Saw.
They also have a new monster. Let me see if I can
Oh,
find it.
yeah, I didn't put that picture in there.
He is called Nightmare, the father of all monsters.
Okay.
I'm going to find him right now.
See?
If you have any questions,
Please ask some
put
questions
them in the chat. We are
Again, 30 years, so they are celebrating a milestone, just like Castle Park's 15 years. They are going all out for
30
this 30.
years. And they had a giant cake at Midsummer Scream.
They did have a giant cake,
which was
at Midsummer
awesome.
Scream. It was.
So, hopefully this won't blur.
Oh,
but
that works. Oh, yes, we did see that.
This is Nightmare, the father of monsters. How do you guys feel about him?
Father Christmas.
Father
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look very scary to me.
Me either.
I like it. The hair is kind of weird to me. I wish they were more like horns. Maybe.
Yeah, I have to admit, some of the
Him.
what are you going to call it? The mascot of these events. We saw a couple of them. We saw one. Oh, we didn't get to show the one at Castle Dark had one.
They
Kind
did.
of that purple and black medieval knight type thing.
They did.
We have this guy here, and then we have the Knots one, the Keeper.
We have the
That
Keeper.
we'll talk about in a
The
little bit as
Keeper.
well. When I mean a little bit, I mean the next slide.
And we have Monty Revolta.
And that was the giant
There's
cake
the cake.
that was at Fright Fest. Pretty cool.
Yeah, Robert said he looked like a transformer. That's
No,
what I was
that's
thinking.
exactly what he looks
Yeah.
He
like.
looks like a transformer.
Yeah, it's not your phone. It's exactly what he looks like.
But real quick, for the City Under Siege, the expansion, the art, I don't know if you could really make it out right now, but
I think they're
it looks
getting it.
cool.
Yeah, there's going to be some good stuff.
Yeah, why not?
Any other questions, you guys, or things you want to talk about for Six Flags?
Not me.
I think I'm good.
I am all good to go.
Just excited. Just excited. You got a lot to load to, Michael. Let's see here. All right, here's one of the big doozies. The big
Wow.
ones.
This was a big presentation.
Yeah, they give like an hour and 15-minute presentation and revealed very little. And I'm not complaining at all because I really enjoyed everybody that came up on stage. They were great presenters. We have a whole video on there on our channel about the whole presentation. But I loved all the historical stuff that they did.
Yeah.
I loved all the
Yes.
enthusiasm. I love the fact they brought back key players from the original haunts to work on this year's
Jonathan.
event.
And we got to see unseen footage of Seymour.
We did get to
'Cause-
see Seymour, and you can see that I don't know a lot of people
More.
appreciated as much of it as some other people did, but the fact that this footage had never been seen before, and I was actually filmed by an employee on his 8mm camera, and he came out that had worked there a long time ago, and that's where they got that footage.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is crazy. It wasn't like Knott's kept it for posterity. They literally, some employee had this footage at home sitting in a can, I'm sure, and Knott's converted over. It was very cool.
That is super cool.
And we've all been to Knott's multiple times.
Multiple
Multiple
times. I went to. This was my
Too many times
Halloween
to
event when I was in high school.
Too many times to
Watching
count.
the hanging, I was super excited every time watching the bands play, the music, the mazes. It was great. And this year they unveiled a lot of concepts for what they're going to do. This is the new main entrance concept. I'll take a little bit off of that from us real quick.
That he said he can hopefully get done.
Yeah, they didn't guarantee it's going to look exactly like this, but you can see some really, really cool stuff there. You can see the witch.
From the 40th year,
from the
Yeah, these
40th
are all
year.
like I want to say these are all like
the anniversary logos.
Yeah.
anniversary logos, like promotional stuff that they used to have.
Yeah, I think it's very, very cool. If they can pull all this off, I'd be stoked. I would be
I would
totally
That,
stoked.
that would be an awesome photo op.
It would be. All right, let me bring us back in here. So Knott's. So they announced some of the stuff before Midsummer Scream. They sent out a press release on the 100 days to Halloween, I think. Press release that said there was going to be 10 mazes, 5 scare
Yeah.
zones, and 4 shows.
Correct.
But they didn't come in. So the next couple slides, we don't have much on new mazes at all.
No.
So I kind of speculation. Speculation is there's going to be 3 new mazes, right? And 7
From-
returning mazes?
From what we've seen in the park.
Correct.
Correct.
Yes.
What we've seen in the park.
So,
We don't know exactly.
Well, from what we
they're-
know, because we know Pumpkin Eater's gone,
Correct.
and we know that Dark Ride is gone. Those
Yep.
were announced last year that they
Yes.
were not returning,
And we know.
and that's all we know.
Correct.
That's all we know. Now, we can speculate building-wise in the arcade. We can
Correct.
say they're maybe building something there. We don't know if it's Scary Farm related or not, but they are walls up and stuff has
Yes.
been moved around.
And they're keeping it a very good secret. One day there's a keyhole you can look through, and the next day there's not.
We can
They're
also
covered up with
speculate
tape.
that there's walls up in Camp Snoopy, which
Correct.
could also mean
Tons of
haunt
walls.
build, but we don't know. So we're just speculating all of this. None of this is
And we
written
could
down.
speculate that there was wood outside of the boardwalk ballroom.
Correct. There's a
So-
lot of stuff going
But we
on.
know we know something's going in there because Dark Ride has left.
Correct.
So we know that
Right.
location's being
But
used, and we know Pumpkin Eater's being
so
used.
we know that's being used, yeah.
Yeah, we know those two locations are for sure being used. Everything else has not been used last year
Yeah.
and is just going to be brand new. So if something goes up there, cool. If not,
Yeah, and there's a lot more space now in Fiesta Village for something to go on as well with the reopening.
yeah. And
So
we
I
can
think-
talk about those 5 scare zones that are coming.
Yeah, we'll get there. The next slide actually talks about something they didn't outright say they were going to do, but they alluded to it. What is the hanging coming back? So during the presentation,
There are 4 shows coming.
yeah, and they talked about the hanging coming back. This is a vintage photo they threw up, showing, I think I can't remember, I think it was the 30th?
I just hope.
It says 40 on their...
Oh, it says 40th. Oh yeah, it says 40 on their on themselves.
Yes.
I
On their bodies,
just
it's
hope
weird.
if the hanging comes back, it is the pop culture hanging everybody loved. I don't want
Correct.
the
You
Sarah
don't-
Marshall version. I don't think anybody really liked that.
I
It
do.
tied in with the story, but I think
Correct.
the fans wanted you to make fun of Disney, wanted you to poke fun at other things. Like, I feel like that's what the people
Oh.
wanted. Us as horror fans,
I want
us
Sarah
as
Marshall.
Scary Farm fans. I was like, okay, the Sarah Marshall one is cool. Like, it
It
ties
is.
everything all together.
Correct.
I liked it. It was cool. But
Go to
I don't
Origins
think
and then go hang her. I mean, that's the whole.
I don't think the general
Yeah.
public likes that one
So,
very much.
Yeah,
just an idea.
hanging's got a bad rep.
Just
It's just they took it away for a long time. Go ahead.
They
Nico,
did.
sorry.
But just an idea. What if we had our parody hanging? We had 4 shows a night or whatever, but at midnight there's that one Sarah Marshall hanging. You have to be there. Because what they were saying in the presentation is the guy who I unfortunately don't remember his name. But you don't know when certain things are happening in the park at certain times. So you could be walking through Forsaken Lake at a random time,
Oh, and
and they could be
procession.
having a processional.
True.
You could be walking through the hollows, which isn't there anymore, because last year was the last year. I could say that because there's merch.
Yeah. Yes.
Like random times, you'd see these witch hunters finding witches, putting them in cages, and then they would burn a giant wicker man on
Which
top
they
of the rock.
stopped doing for some
They
reason
did.
last
They did.
year.
But
Yeah, no, those
12
moments are coming back.
12 o'clock would be easy for just one Sarah Marshall hanging.
Correct.
Just have that, but then the rest of the shows could be parody shows.
I think that would be awesome. And we do have fire effects back in the park, in Fiesta Village, on
And I
top
can-
of the
We do.
pyramid.
I can say with almost certainty that it's not going to be on the Calico stage because they are putting the carnival one back there.
Oh, okay.
So this would have to go either in the Walter Knott Theater,
Theater.
or we'll have to go in the old stunt show area.
Oh,
Where they
which
are not
they don't
utilizing
use it
anything.
anymore except for Crazy Kurt, basically.
The stunt
and
show
then I
would
think
be
they use
good.
it like for costumes sometimes during some events. So
Correct.
I would love to see the hanging come back in some form. They didn't outright say it, but he alluded that was probably coming back. So we're
Yes.
excited about that one. Now we mentioned kind of these mascots of the event, and they wanted to pay kind of homage to Seymour, one of the original folks that started this entire thing. With his hat is what really stood out from his outfit, and we ended up with the Keeper.
The Keeper.
So the Keeper, I think everybody had the exact same opinion, and we're not here to kiss anybody's butt. It seemed like Monty Revolta. Marina called it, I think some other people called it, an over-the-top character that, yeah, he came out, talked to everybody during the panel, then he went back downstairs in the Knott's booth and took some photos.
Yeah, took some photos.
And I think it's going to
Really
be
cool.
all right. I'm glad that they have somebody. It's just a little over top and the same type of attitude as we see in another theme park or another haunt, I guess. Another event.
Yeah.
I'd like to see something a little more original. I mean, he seemed to be more funny than he is scary. And that's
Correct.
the part that I
But that was
not scary.
Seymour.
That was
He was Seymour, but he was making fun of movies. He was
Yes.
making fun of films.
Correct.
Rather than...
Yeah, he was more insulting us
Correct.
than...
That's very true.
Yeah.
But
Maybe it's going to be great.
One thing I will say, though, is based on that little picture that they drew, it looks like he's standing right above, like, the Walter Knott Theater area. But...
Oh, wow.
that wouldn't really make sense with what's there. That doesn't
Correct.
make Goring 20 sense, and based on what I've heard is going to be in that theater, I don't think that makes sense with anything that's going to be in there. So I don't know if maybe they just drew that up because they just drew it up,
Yeah,
or if he's going to be one of those characters that's tucked away somewhere, and you're like, there's the Keeper, that's awesome.
Yeah, and the concept drawing is awesome.
To me, it
I
more
think the
looks...
concept drawing looks great. I think the actual character was a little bit off. It looks campy to me.
To me, it looks more like a horse-drawn hearse. Like a broken
Oh,
horse-drawn hearse.
could be that too.
maybe.
I think the Keeper is going to be one of those characters that's tucked away somewhere.
So
And
you
it's
think
going to be
maybe-
high up. You're not going to be able to meet the Keeper. You're not going to be able to talk to
Maybe
him.
where the Headless Horseman
But he's going to
comes
be
by.
watching over, and he's
Remember-
going to be overseeing kind of everything.
You have the Headless Horseman come over there on
You
the way
do,
to Camp
you
Snoopy
do, on the
that
track.
walks back and forth. Maybe he can be on top of
He could be
a
up somewhere.
stagecoach or something. And
True.
Yeah,
I know they don't want a ton of people to gather in some of those smaller areas,
No.
but yeah.
because-
I mean, I was excited there was somebody, but I was also a little disappointed.
I think it's cool. I think it's awesome. I know it's not going to be this exact performer who came out
I
as
don't
the
think
Keeper.
so. Yeah.
But it's gonna. I think it's gonna be like the Overlord when we had the Overlord, and the Witch with her tricksters, where he's gonna have his little ghoulish gang
Okay.
following him around the park, and he could walk
Yeah.
wherever he wants, whenever he wants. But I don't think he'll talk much.
Okay. That would.
I don't think he is either.
Yeah, I think that would be
But-
good. I think.
Because if you do, you need somebody who sounds exactly like Seymour, or very
Yeah.
close to.
And it was a little odd because in the booth when he wasn't there, they had vampires, like vampire brides, so at the booth for photo ops. So is that from a maze? Is those supposed to be the people that's with him? I don't know what that was.
What is this? I'm sorry.
The vampire bride
You
goes
know,
over in the booth for the photo op.
something that I'm also thinking about now is he could be placed anywhere the new store is going to be. As you're walking to the
Which
new
we have lots of
store,
pictures
you're
of
going
the
to
new
see it,
store.
or maybe in the new store, because it's definitely
Or-
separate.
Oh, Nico's having an epiphany.
Or if they do a 50th maze,
Yeah.
tribute maze, he could be like the person in the front, like how Origins,
Correct, Nico.
Has-
Good job.
Oh, where
The
the guy's standing
hangman.
up, the hangman's standing
Yes.
up there.
or like
So maybe he
because
will be the 50th.
Marina says he'll be by Boot Hill in the wagon, but there was also a hangman in that wagon for Origins.
Yep.
So
Let me see something really quick.
I don't know, like the pumpkin eater head in the beginning of Pumpkin Eater, not a person, but it was still.
Pita.
True.
Pita. So, yeah,
yeah.
like I said, they didn't reveal a whole lot. What they focused a bunch of time on, which was actually one of the better part of the presentations, which I thought was all of them were very good, was the merchandise section. I thought the guy doing the merchandise was great.
Oh, yeah.
He took the room from like, oh, we're pretty excited to, oh my God, we're excited because all this
Yeah.
merch. He just
100%.
entered the panel with a ton of excitement.
Can I just add one more thing
Sure.
about the Keeper?
Yeah.
One thing that really sold me on the Keeper. Oh no! One thing that really sold me on the Keeper more was seeing Seymour's daughters extremely happy about it.
They were. So he's going to be
So-
a part of it. Yeah, so they had Seymour's daughters there.
Like, yeah, Seymour's daughters were a part of the presentation, and when he came out, like, they were glowing. They were so happy about it, and they even like met him at the booth. So, like, you could be fake happy, like, yeah, but they look genuinely happy about it.
I mean,
Yes.
yeah. I mean, the fact that Seymour was part of the original part. Marina also mentioned maybe they rope off the cemetery and have him in the cemetery in Boot Hill.
That makes
Because
sense
they've
with the
done the
maze that's
projection
there.
show they've done there and actually projected it up on the side of the building there sometimes.
That does make
Maybe.
sense.
I mean, they're going to have to put
Yeah.
him somewhere.
That would make sense. I'm just because there's not a lot of queue space
Correct, there's
for
not a lot of space
Origins,
there. Yeah.
so
We'll have to see. But
maybe kick them out.
now we're going to transition to a bunch of slides about merchandise.
Merchandise.
They
just
went
gonna-
overboard on merchandise.
I'm just gonna say yes or no
Yes.
of what I want because
Alright.
there's a lot. They
Let's
showed
talk about merchandise.
too much.
But to go along with the merchandise, they have a brand new retheming of a store,
Yes.
which is this. This is a very cool looking store environment.
Mm-hmm.
This is additional
So,
concept
if
drawings
you,
of the store.
Do you want to go back?
Sure, go ahead.
So if you see the staircase that is on the left of the screen,
Oh,
that
I can draw up there if you want.
okay, sure.
I think I can.
No, it's fine.
Look, somebody said no laser pointer. This stairwell right here?
Yes.
Wow,
There we
there's
go,
the
there
laser
we go.
pointer.
We're ESPN now. The tribute store is going to have different scenes from different houses, mazes that they've had in the past. So the staircase, a lot of photo ops are going to be a part of the tribute store. So the staircase was a part of Trick or Treat when they had Trick or Treat over where Waxworks was. It looks like that middle piece right there with the face was a part of Dark Ride.
Dark Ride.
Where before you enter the maintenance pit. And then
Looks like the grimoire's in the middle. There's
the
an
grimoire.
open book.
Yeah.
You got
You got
Sarah
the-
Marshall painting. It
Yep,
looks
I was
like
gonna say
there.
you got the green
Cool.
witches all along the side there.
What is the cauldron from?
So I think the cauldron was just for the Green Witch when she was the icon
Okay.
of the park with the tricksters. I think this maze is going
These
to be
witches here as well.
Yeah,
A boarded up door, almost like a mine.
because they also had a photo op where you could be in a cauldron,
Okay.
and there's like a giant green witch hand on the outside.
True.
So
There's one. Let's go to the next one.
yeah,
And something cool about this store is that during the day it'll be open to everybody. So you're walking down that main entranceway to go to Knott's. You're going to be able to go into the store. But as Scary Farm starts, the store entrance on the main entrance side will be closed. And you'll be able to walk into the store from the park and go in there and do your shopping and whatever. So you're only able to shop in this store when you are not... when they're not in Scary Farm hours. If they're in Scary Farm hours, you have to have a ticket into Scary Farm to get into this store.
yes.
You see anything else in here?
So this looks more like Dominion of the Damned, like
This
the
is playing up on the vampires.
the old school vampire mazes,
Yep.
like when we had Dominion of the Damned, Lore of the Vampire, Gothic Graveyard. That's what I'm getting from this room. You can see the 50th banners hanging, which looks super cool if they have them tattered. If you saw that in the store, I might buy it because it's pretty cool. The statue on the left,
Yeah, what is this?
it looks like a Bride of Frankenstein, but that wouldn't really make sense with the hair.
I know. At first, when I first saw it, I was like, is that Elvira?
I
It's
didn't
not.
even
Yeah.
realize what that was.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is very old school vampire houses. Gothic Graveyard, Lore of the Vampire, Dominion of the Damned.
And it's about time Knott's does a store like this. Universal Orlando
Yeah,
has been doing
yeah.
stores like this for quite a while now, and they are really cool. You feel like you're walking through a haunted house shopping in the store.
Yeah.
So it's cool that Knott's is now jumping on this train and doing something like this, especially with all the history they have and being the first ones to do something like
Yeah, we don't want a section of a store. I have a regular theme store to buy our
that. No, we
Halloween
want
merch.
this.
We do. All right, so we'll go through the merch kind of quick here.
Yeah.
Our first merch,
Yes.
60th anniversary shirt.
Yes.
It comes in a hoodie, sweater,
cool.
everything. I think it looks really good.
I'm getting it.
We have a conductor
No.
shirt. Yeah,
I'm not
all
getting
aboard.
it.
I love the conductor, but I don't know if I need him on a shirt.
I don't think so.
I love shirts that have like the maze titles and all that, but not like character pictured shirts.
Yeah, here's another 50th Not Scary Farm logo.
Not for
Gargoyles. They said gargoyles is going to be a big part of the event this year.
They did.
We have Carnival shirt.
Neither of
Right
them are
theme,
for
but
me.
still not nothing I can imagine ever wearing.
If I was the character on that shirt, I'd buy it. But
Yeah. Some blacklight. There's a version of the blacklight. It does have the regular Not Scary Farm logo on the front. I would love just a shirt that just had this on it.
I think we can get you.
Yes.
that.
Yeah, just that. I think that would be good.
Yes.
Oh, Noah's going to be all over this. We got a Ouija board.
Of course.
This is Not Scary Farm. Goodbye.
yeah, that is
Oh.
a really cool shirt though.
Yeah, I think that is very cool. We have Origins.
No,
Yeah. Nico likes it. No?
it's not.
Like,
for me.
I like the logo.
It's too
I'm
much
just-
to me.
Yeah. I'm not too big of a fan.
Yeah.
Maybe if it was like Sarah Marshall, like on trial.
Okay.
Not
Here we
for me.
have,
Yeah.
and notice they have some of the merchandise here showing how it would be shown in the store as well. They've got some additional store images down. Oh, some additional store images down here as
Okay.
well.
So I think that will be another photo op
Mhm.
where you could sit on the throne, the vampire throne,
Cool.
get a picture.
Here we go. Spirit jersey.
Yes.
And this is glow in the dark. I thought Marina was going to be all over this
Big
one.
yes.
But I'm not.
we're not
First,
even
she wasn't too keen on it, and then she saw it, or Noah pointed out, it said the 50 years, and I think Marina might be in now. We'll
It's
have to
giving
see.
me too much Nightmare Before Christmas vibes.
It does. Yeah.
I just like that it says 50.
Yeah, I know.
And I like that it's Spirit Jersey.
I
Anything
agree.
that has
Next.
a 5 and a 0.
This was a little bit of a surprise to me to see a
Nerd.
Loungefly backpack
The
as well as a
yeah.
crossbody.
I'm not a Loungefly backpack person, but it is a cool bag.
It is cool. This is their first lounge fly.
I was more excited about this 50th anniversary Knott's lanyard.
I
that
will
was
be
here.
getting that.
I will be getting that
Yeah,
to
I
put
want
my
that
pass
lanyard.
in there.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And probably one of the
The
coolest,
coolest thing.
And I
Scary
will be getting
Farmopoly.
this.
We will be getting this because there's Elvira all over it. This is going to be cool. This
Oh,
is
yeah.
going to be very, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope it has a lot of the classic mazes
And
that I went to.
and the next part has the most potential,
Yes.
and it's all about execution. How well will
Yes.
it work? Will it work like a Magic Band does at Disneyland, which would be bad?
Ooh.
They're going to sell interactive lanterns. That means using RFID when you're in a maze or whatever, they have the ability to turn on and off your lantern while you're walking through a maze.
True.
That could be used completely in the coolest way possible.
Yes.
If they want everybody in the room and everybody's got their lanterns and all of a sudden all the lights go out and they all come on at a specific time,
Yep.
So
that would be amazing.
I remember the first time they used these lanterns. I believe it was a lantern. Was
Okay.
in one of the skeleton keys.
Okay.
And this is where Slaughterhouse was, Pumpkin Eater, so on and so forth. And it was, from what I remember, it was you trying to escape like a hillbilly family. And they give you a lantern.
Okay.
You pretty much just go back to the very back of the area, and then you just walk back the same way.
Okay.
But they played with the lights.
I remember
They
that.
turned the lights on, they turned the lights off, it flickered, it pulsed, so on and so forth. I think this is going to be an awesome item. A lot of people are saying that they're worried for the monsters because guests get wild.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't be, but are monsters going to be hit by it? And I wouldn't be too worried about it,
Yeah.
especially since we've had the flashlights in the past, we've had these lanterns in the past, guns in the
Guns and
past
Bloodline, yeah.
for Bloodline and Special Ops Infected.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be a cool thing to do.
Yeah. So this next slide, I wasn't sure if it was related to this or not. This is this big giant spider room.
Yes, so
It
that
was
room-
related to
It
this,
is.
correct?
Yeah, they said that your lantern was going to interact with the spider.
And this is a very, very cool room. Because you can see over here, it says Calico River Rapids.
Yeah, so they're putting
this
that
is
right
right
up.
over here
Yep.
near what's?
Do you want to put us back on?
Oh yeah. Let me switch over here.
Show us. Thank you.
Show us. There you go.
I showed like a little bit of disappointment. But
Oh.
because I don't think that will be the place where they put the spider. Because the line for Grimoire goes through that area. So to the left,
Hmm?
that is where the Mystery Lodge is. That is where the entrance of the Grimoire is. And the line would go around the front of Calico Rapids.
I do think that's where they're going to put the spider. And they're just going to be like,
So-
well, screw y'all. If you're in the line, you get to see the spider. If not, you don't.
That's could be completely accurate.
I think that's exactly what they're going to do. And I,
I think-
hope that they theme the rest of that area with the green spiders going
Correct.
all the
whole
way
area.
down
All
into the
down
Goring
Wilderness,
20. I want
Wilderness
all of that
restaurant.
themed.
Oh yeah, if that's
Because it's just
yeah.
dark there always. It needs to
Correct.
be themed from the moment you step there all the way through to Goring 20.
I
Yeah,
hope.
I think the spiders stay in there.
no, I don't.
I
I don't
want-
doubt you at all.
I want those little pods not to just hang. I want them to be moving around.
That'd be
Yes,
cool.
I want them
I
to
want
hatch.
them to be like moving around up there, wiggling around. That would
Feel
be
some
awesome.
That would be
spider
cool.
ooze fall on me.
And then probably my favorite thing from the merchandise is this tiki mug. This tiki mug has everything. I'll just turn this off right there. So, this tiki mug is cool. It's got the grimoire on it. It's got the skeleton, this treasure chest. What is the treasure chest from, guys?
The treasure chest. I
don't know.
No, but I'm gonna say Redbeard's Revenge.
There you go. And the dagger. Do we know what the dagger comes from?
Again, Chris, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but
don't
there's
know.
a chainsaw down here.
Okay, that
There's
makes
a
sense.
hat here.
That
There's
makes
like
sense.
a biohazard logo over here. There's a raven or a bat.
What is next to it?
This thing,
Yeah.
it looks almost like a pair of pliers, but the pliers like a blacksmith would use.
Oh.
It's like to take the shoes off of a horse or something.
I'll say that's Tooth Fairy.
Okay. Oh, there you go. Maybe, but it's maybe the wrong place. This hat looks like
The
like a voodoo, style hat. It's a top hat with a skull in the front of it. I don't know what that is.
Cherries.
I don't think they're cherries, but maybe. It's just cool.
Get a Shirley Temple.
I love taking, but the skull on the front with the 50th carved into the top of the skull with the ghost coming down over here. It's very cool.
Yeah, that's
It's
awesome.
very, very cool. I like tiki mugs.
How are you going to drink out of it?
With a straw?
You know what, Chris?
Sorry.
I don't know if you ever drink out of something like this.
Yeah, I probably will never put
I was gonna
that's
say
true.
because I bought the coolest Halloween 3 tiki mug this
you
weekend. I
did.
I'll have to share that with some people. Yeah, the on button. There we go. We're back.
Hey.
Okay, then they said how many pins did they do?
50
50 new pins.
50 new pins, 50 new buttons.
Yeah, it's crazy. I didn't go through too many of these because there's so many pins and buttons.
But he did say pins were extremely limited, and if you wanted to buy a pin that you liked, to buy it right away because they're not going to be restocking.
Correct.
It's
Correct.
going to be insane.
It's going to be insane. But that's all the pins. This pin's only 5. I didn't include everything else because there's way too much merch. There you go.
There's some pins on the bottom.
Yeah, this pin right here. This entrance pin I kind of like because it's got the big giant spider. It's
Spider.
tracing
Yeah.
people away from it.
And
The classic witch was the ticket.
okay.
The gargoyle. Yeah, there's
Eh.
some cool stuff.
The wings I don't really care about.
Yeah.
But
Cool.
But that's it for the pins. I think that's it for knots, guys. We're getting in the home stretch with HHN. You guys ready to transition? Any questions about knots?
yes,
Any
any
knots
questions?
to-
And I hope I don't seem like I'm being hard on knots. I
Now-
love knots. Knots is my place.
And there's not much to talk about knots yet. So we all just bought our tickets to the announcement event that's happening at the end of next month. And that's where they're going to announce everything. If you have tickets to that, it's taking place on the Calico Mine stage right there. They're going to open a couple rides. They're going to have some themed areas.
Yep.
So just... That'll be cool. Tickets
It will
are
be
sold
cool.
out.
Yeah,
I
they
may or
sold
may not
out
have an extra
quick.
ticket. So if
What's
you
that
need
like?
one, let me know, and I may reach out to you if you want a ticket. But
Yeah, it
I
was
don't
about
know
20
yet.
minutes worth, and they sold out, right?
20 minutes
20
or
minutes.
so.
I think
Yeah,
it was
it was fun.
18. Marina said.
Was it?
18.
Because literally, right, if you got on there right at 10 o'clock, you just jumped right in, you bought your tickets and left.
And it was so easy.
Right after I did, I went back in to do it, and I got added to a queue. Like the Disney style queue. So if you were waiting on it, I think you had no problem getting tickets.
Yes.
Yeah. So
But any questions? Does anybody have anything? I have a question. If they do have a 50th tribute maze, 5 mazes off the top of your head from the past that you
go
would
ahead.
like to see.
You guys have to do that because not
Doll Factory
Doll
has to
Factory.
be one of
Factory.
them. I think you're gonna have to do something with like the Green Witch. So I would say a trick or treat nod or
Trick-or-treat?
2 in there. I would hope that they would do nods to not only mazes, it would do an Elvira nod. I would want an Elvira
So
nod.
remember, Elvira was in Nightmares when they, or if you probably don't.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, but I want something Elvira show. She was the
Okay.
host, and she
Yeah.
was like a big part of it for a long time.
And if they negotiated the rights for the Scary Farmopoly game, hopefully they got some rights to use it for the park as well.
I would think so,
I would hope
even if
so.
it's just a little bit.
2 more.
I think they're gonna go with zombies of some. I mean, not zombies, vampires of some sort. So I think they're gonna do maybe nods to Dominion of the Damned, maybe nods to, I don't know, because they've been doing a lot of vampire talk.
We saw some ladies at the booth.
We did.
So, one more.
I don't know. There's so many. Like, how do you just pick 5? I don't know. I feel like Paranormal's going to have to be in there at some point, too.
Yeah. Paranormal was a game changer.
But there's so much to put in there.
Yeah.
There's so much. There's old scare zones that I want them to allude to. You know, they got their first real, like, interactive, crazy thing with what's the zombie infected, where they brought guns out and everybody was like, what, we're using guns, like, what is this? That was awesome. Nods to Trapped I want to see, because they did Trapped for a while. There's definitely things I want to see. There's nods to maybe even the log ride scares. Like, there's just a ton of history that if they throw this within a 50-year maze, even just small little nods to them here or there, I think it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. I would like to see the Asylum.
Correct.
Oh.
I would like to see Blood by You.
Mm-hmm.
The Doll Factory.
Mm-hmm.
I think changed the game at its time. For its time. I would like to see Fury Tales.
Mm.
That was... It was a weird, good maze. I don't know why. It just sticks out to me. I love it. And I think... Carnival of Carnivorous Clowns.
Yes!
Those are my 5 mazes that I would like to see.
They will, I don't know. They will nod to some pretty good...
Yeah, big game changers.
Pretty good stuff if they have anything 50th.
Not Cornstalkers, please. Can't get sick again walking through that maze.
What about Mirror Mirror?
No, not Mirror Mirror.
What about Pinocchio Unstrung?
Yes. Red Barn.
Red Barn.
All right. Do we have anything?
And I want them to bring skeleton keys back. And they talked about those, and I hope they do. Even if they're their own separate skeleton key rooms, I want that, because those can be built really quickly.
And you were not fans of that.
I'm not.
I loved the skeleton key. I loved when they added separate rooms to them even more. But I kind of liked when it was connected to the maze. Just because you got a separate little storyline and a separate little thing that you kind of walked right into the maze with. But when they had their own separate ones and they had their own pop-up ones, when you walked in there and you were playing a Ouija board and all of a sudden a demon popped out in the middle of the table, I was like, what?
Those were cool, but a lot of the ones that were attached to the mazes were bad.
No, yes, and
They were bad.
I would say that they would do the ones that were standalone would be better, but I mean, if they did attach to the mazes, I wouldn't be mad, because I just love exclusivity and getting to do stuff that not everybody in the line gets to do.
Meh.
Next.
Good for you. I'm happy for you.
Nico, I know you would buy a skeleton key ticket if they offered it. I know you would! Don't lie. I know you'd be the first person in line with your damn skeleton key hanging around your neck.
You know what? You're right.
I know.
All right, I think we're done with knots.
Yeah, sure.
Experience to here. You are welcome, Michael Myers, Naomi.
Michael Myers.
All right, we are moving on to HHN.
This is
All
the
right,
big one.
so we know a lot about HHN already,
Yes.
right? We know a lot about. They've been sharing a lot of information recently. We have 8 houses.
8 houses.
We have X amount of scare zones. We don't know. I don't think. Right.
We have one right now.
Right, but we don't know how many there's going to be.
No, I know.
We don't know how many shows there's going to be, but we know we have 1 terror tram.
We do.
We know we have one terror tram, and if there's 2, I would be amazed.
Exactly. And you can see that being built right now, right? Some of the footage you just put out in your video showed, I think, all the construction.
Not mine.
Oh, was it yours?
I believe it was Chris and Crystal.
Oh, Chris and Crystal posted that one. Right on.
Yeah.
All right, so houses. Can't call them mazes.
Houses.
Remember, houses. We got Chucky, ultimate kill count. Says Chucky the serial killer doll is back for a new gore fest. He's hijacked his own haunted house with all kinds of bloody hijinks. You and your friends must try and survive his ultimate kill count.
How many mazes did you say?
8.
Because Maria's saying HHN says 10 houses on the web.
It didn't this morning. I can tell you that much.
Did you accidentally click Orlando?
I don't think so.
No, not you. Marina?
I'm pretty sure, sweetheart. Not that you're wrong by any
Apple of
means.
my eye.
But I could have eight terrifying haunted houses coming this year. So I think maybe it was Florida that had 10, but we just double checked it. So there's 8 mazes. So we have Chucky. Who's excited for Chucky?
Nope.
I am excited to see the doll because John Murray was hyping it up like it was some brand new thing. Like, I can't wait till you see this Chucky doll. I had to crop the Chucky doll out of this. I had to do this for the Chucky doll.
True.
It's like, okay, what does it look like?
You know, all I care about if Glenn's there. Is it the family?
I hope.
Is it the family?
I hope Glenn's there.
I hope Glenn's there.
I would steal
too.
Glenn.
I want a life-size Glenn roaming around because he would freak every single person out.
Chucky. This Chucky is based off the USA Sci-Fi TV show.
I know you're not a fan.
Which was not good. Again, everything we say, like, that seems like we're critiquing. It's all
with love.
Yeah, like, we're not doing it to put any theme park down or anything like that. We want the best for everyone, and everyone to give
and they'll all be fun. We all know
they're going to be fun. But this is my least favorite house.
Okay.
So far, this house will be located in the Curious George parking lot where Scarecrow the Reaping was last year.
Okay. I'm okay with this.
I'm
okay with this. Chucky. I want to see it, but I want to see more than Chucky. The only thing that was disappointing, I hope, when we were at Comic-Con, we got to do that Quantum Leap. What do they call them?
Experience activation.
Activation, and they launched us into Chucky from the TV series, and we ended up scanning barcodes.
And we never saw Chucky.
No, he was a ton of little ones busting out, but they were the
we never
actual
saw like
dolls,
not
the real one. We heard him, but that was it. All we did was hear him. So I hope it's going to be good.
Yeah.
But he's still a good villain. One of the classic villains.
Classic.
We'll see how it goes.
And this one I am excited about. I'm more excited about this house than I am about the movie.
I had to hold back what I was just going to say. So we're not going to say anything.
Marina watched this trailer last night. She hadn't seen it yet. It freaked her out.
I haven't seen it.
I think it's a great idea. Now you got to worry about 2 people, not just one.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, you haven't? So
you could see on the...
But I can see there are 2 people there.
Yeah, so the Exorcist Believer, it says 2 missing girls have been found with no memory of what happened to them. But wherever they went, the ultimate evil has returned with them.
Cool.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, please.
No, the part that I liked about it, because in the trailer, it not only talked about the 2 little girls, but Ellen Burstyn's in it as well, the mother from the original one.
Yes.
And there's scenes where you can see Reagan is in there, but as the young girl, like maybe a flashback scene or something of Reagan. So I'm kind of excited because this, we get to see. I know a lot of people get mad when they always bring back The Exorcist every year. I love The Exorcist, and I get to see The Exorcist with new stuff.
True.
Yes.
So we'll see if it's going to be any good or not.
So I'm excited about this because it is The Exorcist Believer. It is not the 3rd year that the original Exorcist is back, and it's going to be the same room, same layout, all that. It's all going to be new stuff. So I'm super excited for Exorcist Believer. Even if it was the regular Exorcist, even though I'm not excited, I wouldn't be excited for it. I would at least hope there'd be new scenes. But it's not. So
it's not going to be the Rock musical. We know that.
It's not. No. I kind of wish it was.
I kind of wish it was. But we're excited about seeing this one. It's a great IP. Let's hope it's good.
Those 2 girls' faces right there are terrifying.
You know what I did know is, when does the movie come out? It obviously comes out before Halloween.
October...
It says it right there. In theaters, October 13th.
13th.
Horror Nights starts well before then. So we'll be seeing the maze before we see the movie.
Yeah, so...
the house. That's disappointing.
Horror Nights starts a week before. Well, they did the same thing with Crimson Peak.
Which I thought was a horrible house.
Well, so they did the same thing with Crimson Peak. It was not good.
Peak. Did you like it, Noah? The movie was bad too.
The movie was very
boring.
Pretty.
It was gorgeous, but it was boring.
Yeah, but I love the house.
It was okay.
It looked good, but I didn't find it scary at all.
It was.
Did Krampus come out? Did they do a house a year later?
Yes.
Anyway,
I love
Anyway.
Krampus.
they've done
I love
houses.
I loved
Yes.
that maze.
I don't
That
remember
was such
the
a
maze,
It
good
was
maze.
so good.
but I do love Krampus in general.
But they have done mazes where the maze releases before the movie.
Marina
Okay.
said it
So-
wasn't good, Nico.
What?
Yeah, Marina agreed with you that it wasn't a very good house.
Well,
We both
it's
didn't
okay
like
to
it.
be wrong.
In my humble but correct opinion. No, this was one of the first things, one of the first haunts that Marina and I went to. Went on that year that they had this, and
Yeah.
we were just disappointed. After we had gone to the movie, we were disappointed by the movie as well. So, and we both love Guillermo del Toro.
Lots of red everywhere. I don't know what house you walked through, but I don't remember a lot of red everywhere. Like the
It was
clay,
red and blue. It was red and blue.
but it was a pretty maze.
it was pretty.
It was a pretty maze.
All right, let's talk about the next one here. So this is where we have
Nico's
Universal
favorite.
Monsters Unmasked. This was not Nico's favorite, but now
No,
it is.
his favorite character is in it.
Oh,
It's
my
got
favorite.
the Hunchbacks.
Got
It's
the
Descend
Hunchback.
into the Paris
Quasimodo's
Catacombs.
in it.
You better
We're-
be on top of the.
It's okay. Where you... this is the bad part. Everything from here on is about a squad, by the way. Descend into the Paris Catacombs, where you and your squad will face a new horde of monsters. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, the Phantom of the Opera, the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and the Invisible Man. The Invisible Man is going to be the most boring ghost in the entire thing. I'm kidding, because you want people to see him. It was a joke. Just stuff falling off the walls is something we see at every haunt. So,
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
Were you able to go through the house in 2018?
Maybe. We went a few years before we had the YouTube channel, when my sister would come down, and we would all go. That probably was the year of Crimson Peak, right?
I
Around
don't
No.
that same
think
time frame?
No.
Was it
Crimson
early?
Peak was 2015.
Oh, so it was even earlier. So maybe not.
They had a very cool UV effect where everything for
I'm getting bad dad joke comments from Marina.
everything in the room was UV. His costume pieces were UV.
Yeah, I remember
And then he was just in black, and it looked super good.
It did? Okay.
Yeah, it looked
but
cool.
I wonder how they're gonna do it in this.
I think that's why they combined him with a bunch of other people, so that
Yeah.
his section will be very, and then everybody else's will be a little longer.
And another thing I'm excited for is it's not Frankenstein. It's not the Wolfman.
I agree.
But you will be
It's
seeing
not
the bride.
Mummy. You will. It's not Dracula. It's all these underdogs, pretty much. Underdog monsters who...
Not necessarily
don't
bad
really
people like Quasimodo.
I guess not
That's
underdog.
the bad part. He's not
what's-
really... I know what you mean, though. I know exactly what you mean. It's the less known characters, the less
known.
popular
Thank you.
characters, and I'm totally off. Like I said, I'm tired of seeing the same things over and over again.
Yes.
So I'm all for this one. It should be exciting. I think it'll be better than the one last year, the Universal Monsters Maze, which the set design was amazing, but it was empty the couple of times we went through.
Yeah.
It wasn't exciting.
To me, it was a pretty weak house last year.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
like one of my favorites.
Really?
I was terrified. We got a good run, I guess.
I guess, yeah, we didn't.
I think the scares were good, but it felt too much cargo shipping warehouse
yeah.
than it did like, oh, I'm walking the streets of London.
But now, is this going to feel too catacomb?
So
The
entire time.
Yeah, what was the movie? So Far Below.
Oh,
As Above, So
As-
Below.
yeah,
that
that
movie
one. So that was a
scared me.
catacomb-based movie, which I really enjoyed.
It's terrifying.
It's owned by Universal. So
So-
if Universal ever did that,
They can keep the same.
Well, they'll
set,
keep the same thing and just change.
change the theming.
True.
Yeah, let's
just
hope so.
have that choir down in the catacombs.
We'll have
There's
the Phantom
Nico.
down there.
Well, all right, so moving on to next. I'm excited for this one. This
Yeah.
is going to be Stranger Things.
If there's any year to do Stranger Things, it's
They're
this
abs-
season right now.
Yeah, band together with your squad again, by the way, to resist Vecna's gruesome curse as you take on the scariest season of Stranger Things yet. We're gonna have Eddie playing his guitar. We're gonna have Vecna. We're gonna have people floating in the air, bursting into pieces.
It's gonna be great.
I think it'll be fun.
And everybody better have your song ready to escape Vecna.
It just Stranger Things has not been the strongest maze that Horror Nights has done,
Yeah.
and it makes me. This is good content, or it's a good season to have a maze.
It's got good
but
potential.
Good potential.
Correct.
We'll see the execution.
I can't talk right now.
It's all right.
but
I'm here for you.
I appreciate it.
I'm here for you.
I just the past two mazes weren't the best.
Okay.
So
Is it because they were Netflix?
I don't know, and that's another thing. You would think Netflix would put some money.
What was the other? The House on Haunting Hill? Was that the
Haunting of Hill
Hill
House?
The Haunting of Hill House was the other one. And that had some really cool effects in it, I thought.
I will say,
Yeah.
though, it may not be everybody's favorite, but it's bringing people in. Because
It
there's
is,
people
isn't it?
that I don't ever talk horror to, and they're like, I have to go to Universal. Stranger Things is going to be there. So it's definitely bringing crowds
Okay.
in. And I think as a person who loves horror and has seen what Universal's capable of, and then they like kind of lack on stuff like this,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this maze is like for us. It's not like this is going to be super scary, this is going to be super whatever, but it's definitely bringing people in.
Okay. Well, I'm excited for it. Hopefully it'll
I
be
am
good.
too.
I don't know. Optimistically
Cautiously optimistic.
Yes, thank you.
You got
See?
it. See?
He's here
I'm here
for
for
me.
you.
He's here for me.
All right, the next one, The Last of Us. And they'll say thousands of times this is not based on the movie. It's based on the video game.
Yes.
But we'll find a Pedro Pascal somewhere in the maze. Is my guess.
I'm debating if I want to do a walkthrough. Like, there's walkthrough videos of it, but do a walkthrough gameplay of the game and post it.
Yep.
But I don't know if I want to put myself through that again
Okay.
because
Okay.
I'll get scared. The Last of Us has amazing potential for a maze.
It does. It's just a little synopsis. You and your squad, by the way,
Of course.
must stay silent if you want to survive clickers and more as the gritty world of Naughty Dog's video game come to life. It has great potential, obviously. So, we'll see how it goes.
This is a house that I would audition for.
You really, because you like the game that much, or the
I would
TV
love to
series?
be a clicker.
Okay.
I think it'd be so much fun.
Yeah, Marina just commented too. She wasn't excited about Stranger Things. That's because she hasn't watched it. It's never grasped her attention. So in this one, she
Good
didn't watch
show.
either.
Yeah, I'm not excited for this.
Did you watch the show?
Nope, and I've never played the game, and I don't care
I know
to.
of the game, and I've watched the series, and I'm still somewhat excited. Now, not as excited as I'm about this next one. This next section, I'm super excited about.
Okay, can I add one more thing?
Of
to
course.
This? I hope there's more clicker infected over, like, scavengers, humans.
Correct.
Like,
They have to spend a lot of money.
the last year they had the
What?
Walking Dead. What happened?
I'm seeing I Have Two Liar.
Marina has seen Stranger Things.
Maybe she's seen parts of it. Just
When you're not watching?
Okay.
Oh.
She's a closet Stranger Things
She's-
watcher.
yeah, she is. She's a secret
closet.
merch closet that you don't know
That's
about.
funny.
That's all Stranger Things.
That's fine.
But I just hope more infected clickers instead of scavengers, so on, because the last year of The Walking Dead wasn't that at Horror Nights wasn't that scary because they had more human
More Negan and
Then-
it's good. Yeah.
than monsters.
Than monsters.
Clickers.
And we
So
want monsters.
I could walk down the street and get scared by any human and for
All right.
free.
Next.
So this next one, Monstros, the monsters of Latin America. I am super excited about this.
Yeah.
And we talked about this. There was this trailer that came out, and forgive me for not knowing about this new horror movie based on Indian culture of these monsters that I've never heard about that come from the Indian culture, and it just freaks me out because I don't know about these things. And this is where this type of house gets me excited because all of these characters, and they're not going the cheap chupacabra route.
Yeah.
They're going for things that I don't know about, so I'm excited about this. I don't know what you guys think about this maze.
So I'm super stoked about this. I even said in a few posts, we'll get to the facade in a little bit,
Yep.
but the borders for a part of the facade look like the colors they had for. I'm not going to pronounce it. Tolu.
I'm not going to try it.
Yeah.
This is going to be the hardest season ever to try to talk about this house, trying to pronounce some of these names.
The first monster we're going to see in the next slide.
Taliapuchi?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sounds close.
About right.
So I'm excited that we're getting more obscure urban legends. Because in the past we've had La Llorona last year. And
Which
2
I
years.
thought was good, though, last
Oh,
year.
it was incredible.
really good.
It was one of the best houses last
But
year.
they've done it over and over again.
And yeah, but For me, I loved it because I've never experienced it.
Yep.
My first year was 2013,
Mhm.
and her last year was 2012.
Oh.
And then 2013, we had El Cucuy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So, and that was done by Danny Trejo.
Okay. Okay.
And so, like we
Yeah.
So we've had La Llorona, we've had El Cucuy, and now we have 3 more obscure urban legends that I guess we haven't really heard about.
No, I mean La Llorona I had heard of. I had watched the movies because
Yeah.
there's a couple different versions of it. Some good, some bad. And I don't know.
Oh,
no,
La Llorona.
you're being quiet on this one.
Oh no, I'm very excited for
Okay.
this because these are characters I grew up hearing stories about.
see,
These
that's
are
awesome.
people
You are.
I knew. These are people that like I would go to Mexico and they'd be like, "Watch out for these people." So I'm very excited. I am very excited to see these characters brought to life. I was not excited when John stepped out on stage and was like, "We're gonna announce the first thing," and I was like, "Oh, here we go, right off the bat." And then he said, "Monsters of Latin America," and I was like, "Yes, yes, this is me." So it's really cool seeing this.
Yeah.
I am very excited for this.
Because when it comes to like international type things, we get a lot of Japanese, right? A lot of
Correct.
Japanese horror films, a lot of American stuff, some of the British stuff from
Mm-hmm.
the classic monsters, but we didn't get
Yeah.
much else. So I'm excited. So, I mean that it's killing me that I'm not being able to talk about that Indian movie. I can't remember it, but that girl walk around with a little sack of the jar with something inside
Oh
of
yes, yes.
it.
I
That
know.
movie freaked me out. I'm like, what is this? And you
Yes,
hear
I
the
know about
grandmother
that movie.
explaining who it is. I'm like, okay, this is what we need more of. I need something new. I'm tired of all the classic stuff. So this is probably the house they spent the most time talking about. It is by far.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So we have some of the concept art for some of the monsters in here. We'll go through.
It's called It Lives Inside.
It Lives Inside. If you haven't seen the trailer for It Lives Inside, after our stream, go watch it. So, go ahead, Noah.
I
know,
don't
this
know.
is too hard.
what John
Talia Pucci.
Tlahuelpuchi.
Yes.
So what John said during the presentation was the white Tlahuelpuchi. I know I'm not saying
Monster.
it right. You can make fun of me for it. Everyone, I guess, is a Tlahuelpuchi
Has something in them, yes.
or has something in them. So the one in the white is a brand new,
a recently one.
Yeah, yeah.
Recent one.
and then the one in the middle and the
I'm trying to listen to the
Right.
pronunciation. The correct pronunciation.
the one on the middle and the right are more aged, more matured
Yep.
versions of this urban legend.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
looks terrifying.
It does. It does.
Do you have concept art of the rooms for her, or
I think I do after some of these. I just
No,
some
no,
of the
that's
concepts. They're not in
perfectly
any particular order. But I
Okay.
wanted to include the 3 that they
okay?
talked
If
about.
we don't, then I'll just talk about what John said.
Okay, should I switch?
let-
you're gonna
let's-
play for the
We're gonna play
microphone.
it for
Play it.
everybody.
Tlahuelpuchi.
Oh my goodness, I'm.
Tlahuelpuchi.
It sounds like it.
Tlahuelpuchi.
Tlalelpuchi is almost kind of like what it sounds.
I'm just gonna store that on my phone. Whatever I have to say, it just play back into the
And just
microphone.
play it back.
Correct.
Tlahuelpuchi.
Marina, you're gonna have to edit all these videos to have that thrown in there whenever I have to say
Yeah, just get a sound bite, and whenever we say it,
it. Just throw it in there. It'll be funny. And I'll just mouth the word. You got it. All right. So here's a couple other ones.
So we have La Lechuza,
La Chusa.
which is an owl creature.
Correct. Apparently, owls are, especially in like Indian culture, it's a big deal, right?
Native American. culture.
Native American, yes, Native American culture, and
Yes.
apparently here as well.
Um,
Just go ahead.
I don't know much about her. Do you remember what?
Yeah, this is one I grew up with. La
Okay.
Chusa.
Well, tell
um,
us.
Yes, please.
No, John, I mean, explained it the best. This is like a. This is the one where he was talking about that they. Well, it's crazy because he's picking bits and pieces of a ton of different things. So
He was.
He's like
Yeah.
he's thinking like 5 miles ahead of everything, which is so cool. But
And this is the one where he brought up newspaper clippings of this monster terrorizing people in
terrorizing
southern
people,
Texas.
exactly.
In southern Texas from the Latino community. And, I mean, people really thought, and then I think, was it this one or the El Sabon one where they talked about it was actually listed on the death certificate as cause of death? Was it
It was
this
the
one?
La Lechuza.
Oh, the Chusa.
No, yeah, it was.
literally listed on the death certificate as reason that they died.
Well, no, I think they captured a La Lechuza.
We're gonna have to watch.
But then
the,
I guess a bird or a La Lechuza was flying overhead at the same time. I don't remember.
I'm
I
trying
don't
to
remember.
think.
Yeah. We'll have to
La
watch it.
Lechuza took our memory.
Yes, but there is. If you guys watch the entire panel,
No,
you'll
it's
get
the
to watch
first one that he was talking about.
it. Oh, it was the first
Because
one.
that was the one when they changed into that character around puberty. So when the baby was first born and they thought they were going to become one, they just
What's that
killed
one
him
called
off
again?
immediately. Talalilpuchi.
There we
La
go. Okay.
Lechuchi.
Okay, good. All right, yeah, just some cool stuff, and then I go to some of the artwork. Are you?
And then,
Yeah,
well,
you're
we have El Sabon.
El Sabon.
And
This
El
guy's the crazy
Sabon
one.
is a guy who, or a creature that would go after like womanizers, and what was the other
Drunkards.
one? Drunkards. And John Murdy had to change it a little bit, but the way that El Sabon would feast is through the belly button.
Yes, he would rip your spine out too.
I think he changed it for that.
Oh, he did change it for that. Okay.
So the original story is the belly button.
Yes,
John Murdy's is the spine.
spine.
Pretty cool.
But yeah, just a creepy character, and they say that he collects all the bones and builds his little nest out of the bones of all the people that he's killed. Right?
Yeah, and then
Very cool stuff.
again, I don't know if you have the concept art.
Probably not, but I do have this concept art,
There's
Sorry,
Nico's
don't show
concept
me.
art.
which is actually this is Nico's. This was a great part of the evening where John Murdy actually came out and talked about when people were talking about this maze, because this is pretty easy to see, at least the top portion of it.
Yes.
If you visit Universal,
Yeah.
and Nico had posted pictures of it and everything, and told everybody thought it was a mausoleum.
Yeah, and like it looks
And-
like a mausoleum.
And people were like, no, it's not a mausoleums are not 2 floors.
Yeah. They
And
don't go
apparently,
that high.
John posted, really? They can be 2 floors, and left it there. But he actually called out that the person on Twitter had posted this, and he was talking about Nico.
He was talking about Nico.
So at the
Hey,
end,
John.
yeah.
Let's be besties.
So at the end, this is the best part. So at the end of the evening, after the panel, John came out to do some interviews with some folks and talk to them. I made sure that his PR person knew that Nico was the person who posted that and got it right. And the PR person got a hold of Nico, and he got to
revoked
meet John.
my pass.
No. But no, it was very cool, and there's some very cool potential of
Yeah.
Nico being part of that PR campaign for this.
Yeah,
So
that was awesome.
that would be awesome for the Entertainment Connection. It said Connect on your badge. I was Jill.
I was going off your badge.
It was going off your badge what you said for Midsummer
Going
Scream.
off your badge.
But yeah, so
Oh, sorry.
So here's the
Started
concept
the
art,
stream.
and then there's an actual image of it.
yeah,
Cool.
so it is a 2-story mausoleum posted by John Murdy.
Very short stories.
We're yes.
Very true.
You can see different like little what are they called for like Dia de los Muertos?
Like
Where they-
ofrendas?
Yeah, like little ofrendas in the little squares.
Little cutouts, yep.
But I was saying with the squares, you had like that light green, that light blue, that light pink. Last year for Tlahuelpuchi, she kind of had the same colors. So I was like, maybe it's a maze about her. And I was shocked that she's
You're
actually
right.
in it.
Yep. And here's some other folks
So
part of this as well.
this is
Muerte.
an original character made up by John Murdy and his team. He will be in front of the house. Usually for the houses at Horror Nights, they have like little characters and you could say code words and whatnot. I don't think that will be the case for this one. But I know John said that he will have like an original track or a track that he will be talking
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
and the mask will have a articulating jaw. So he looks super cool.
He does look super cool.
He looks
And it's cool because he's carrying a shovel.
Yes.
Not like a staff, it's carrying a shovel.
Yeah.
It looks cool.
Simple.
Here's some of the inside of the crypt, which I thought looks crazy cool.
Yes.
Yeah, I think those images are awesome.
I think that door on the right is going to have a nice surprise for us all.
This one here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too.
So
Chris
These
brought
guys
out
are
the
awesome.
laser pointer.
I do. I still got it. I'm keeping it in the corner. I won't point it in the air at any helicopters.
if you watch Chris and Marina's live stream or video of the HHN panel, the two skeletons right here have names.
I don't remember.
I don't remember what they are, so watch
But they have
Bruno.
names.
Bruno.
Bruno. Yes, and we don't talk about him.
Yes.
Here we go. Here's some of the crypt paintings inside, which actually has the monsters that we're talking about, which is very cool. It's just cool. You look at the detail. It says like this is burlap.
Oh
Strip
yeah, that's
curtains.
neat.
So you can go through and see that they literally picked at exactly what those curtains are going to be made out of.
That's crazy.
We have just another little bit of an elevation.
Yeah. So
Oh, Los Infantes. This was look at the
Yeah.
babies.
so for
I have another photo.
Tlahuelpuchi, she pretty much eats and drinks infants.
Infant blood. She'll drink
So-
any blood
Yes,
to
But
get
she
by,
prefers-
but what she prefers is the blood of infants.
yeah. So if you do you mind going back one? So you could see the two cradles on the left side of that door frame, and I think that's her little feasting area.
Oh, that's right. They said because the little cradles are empty, showing that she's already
Yes.
already munched down.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
light snack.
Yum.
That's the bad part. You need a bunch of babies instead of just one big person. But, and then this is a great artwork. How, remember, she makes her nest out of the bones.
I hope.
Yes, yes.
I
that
hope
chooses lit.
that John keeps it true to the story that I've heard growing up with La Lechuza, how it was somebody who was a witch, a lady who was a witch, and people suspected her to be a witch, so then they cursed her off, and she became this crazy owl person.
Oh.
And I hope that if they do keep the story very similar, that we see nods to witchcraft and stuff like that, and maybe even have scenes where townsfolk are kind of like getting all riled up that she's a witch and
Cool.
want to
Yeah.
send her
I hope
out.
so too.
I definitely don't think this will be the only thing we see for La Lechuza.
No.
Again, with Chris and Marina's HHN presentation video, you could actually see a giant animatronic video
Yes.
where the skeleton frame is holding like a cardboard little stick, and it's going to be like a body part. Or if you could see
It's gonna
right
be a
there in
leg.
the concept art, a leg.
Yeah, it's a little leg. So they have this giant animatronic. They showed the frame of it actually functioning before they put all the dressing on it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't include a lot of the stuff here just because it would take them too long. But
that's fine.
you can watch the whole video on the channel.
And then with El Sabone,
Yes.
because he would feast on people's spines and
Yep.
put the bones in his bag.
Yep.
With
Oh, that's
his,
right.
With his dead father, or with his father,
Yeah.
and the sack got so big that at the end of the house, you have to walk through El Sabone's sack.
His bag
His
of
bag
bones.
of bones.
Bag of bones. You're gonna
That's
get
a
to
Sack
go
of
through.
bones.
That is cool.
That's
that is
awesome.
All right, so I'm going to switch on to this next part. They threw up as kind of like a gag,
Yeah.
but I think this is really going to be something, right?
This will really be something.
This will really.
This will really
Project
be
Eggplant.
something. This is
Larry Larva.
something he was not ready to talk about yet, and just kind of wanted to. So what I think Universal's doing is they're gonna wait until Knott's announces everything, and then they're gonna kind of fire twice as hard and announce everything themselves to kind of get attention taken away from Knott's. Because that's what they always do. And Knott's is the same thing. Universal will announce something cool, Knott's will announce the same thing. They always have that back and forth with each other. So I think that's what they're going to do with this. And I think John gave us something so that we can't really complain that he gave us nothing, because he can technically say, I showed you a little bit of everything at Midsummer.
Yeah.
I just didn't tell you what it was. So I think that's what he did here. And then once Knott's does their event, he'll release exactly what this is.
I think so
supposed to
too.
And I hope with this, if it is the Terror Trim, I do hope it's like how they had Hollywood Harry's Dead Time stories, where it was multiple different themes throughout. But
We'll see.
that looks very gross.
Yeah, we said Skullcap Nat said, "Have you guys talked about Fear Farm yet?"
I said
Return-
no.
Yeah. Okay. Then, so tonight was mainly going to be about the major haunts that take place at usually theme parks. As we get more information, we did talk to the folks at Fair Farm and a lot of the home haunts. We'll probably do another one of these, and probably on either Nico or Noah's channel. We'll do another of these nights on their channel, to where we'll go through and we'll talk about some of the home haunts as well. Because you got to kind of split home haunts into something separate. So you have the smaller home haunts that are done in the backyard, and then you have the bigger ones like Fair Farm, which was one of our favorite haunts of all last year.
Yes.
And maybe we'll be able to throw some little footage of some of those in there. So I think that kind of ends it for the HHN part. We're on to the last part of this.
Nice.
In the home stretch
There
here.
we go.
So the other part was going to be 13th Floor Entertainment Group. This quickly became one of my favorites, and not because of all the events they have, but because of a couple of events they had. Delusion, for the last couple of years, Marina and I have gone to and have made sure that is something we will never ever miss again. Noah's been going for a few years.
Quite a few years.
And Nico got to experience it this past year. And it's just one of our favorite events. But 13th Floor does a ton of different Halloween events all throughout this entire country. These are the ones that are located basically here in Southern California. So we have Delusion, shaqtoberfest, which its first year was last year. Magic of the Lanterns, which was called something else today called Glow. Took place in Denver a few years ago. And then, of course, they have the LA Haunted Hayride.
Haunted Hayride.
Which I called Hollywood Haunted Hayride earlier in the
You did do that.
That's
I
all
did,
right.
but I
That's
didn't
all right.
correct you.
The good news is Hollywood's located in Los Angeles.
That's
So
true.
maybe that counts.
So that makes sense.
But it kind of does. So we'll go through a couple of these. They didn't have a ton of announcements. Haunted Hayride did announce that they had one new maze this year called Hellbilly Halloween, which basically yokels going to be, inbred folks are going to be trying to get you. Hopefully it's going to be a big thing. LA Haunted Hayride was not my most favorite event last year.
Me either.
There was, it almost looks like they were building and they ran out of funds, or they ran out of people, or something happened, because there were parts where you just went through switchbacks back and forth, with nothing around you except for incredibly bright and flashing lights where you couldn't see where you were
Yes.
And hay bales.
going. And hay bales, which I tripped over.
So
Yeah.
they have two returning houses or mazes: Midnight Mortuary
Yep.
and Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat in the back was super cool
Yep.
because, did I say Trick or Treat in the past or Trick or Treat in the back?
He's
In the
in the
back.
back, but
Okay, Trick or Treat in the past was super cool because you'd actually go up to these different houses, ring the doorbell, and different things happen to you. This past year, not so much. It was very just, let's walk by each house and maybe a monster will be there, maybe not. Midnight Mortuary was the highlight of the mazes.
Correct. I agree.
A lot of good scares.
There was.
But I think it was more the crowd for me.
Mm-hmm.
The crowd kind of is like a bunch of like
Rowdy.
teenagers.
It was rowdy.
Rowdy teenagers.
It was rowdy stuff. So yeah, it wasn't.
And then Hellbilly Halloween will be replacing Slaughterhouse or Slaughter House,
Correct.
which was supposed to be a slaughterhouse / clown hybrid maze.
We don't
Didn't
know
work
what
out
it
like
was.
that. I don't even remember seeing a clown. But I have high potential for this, or high hopes.
I do too. Go ahead.
it'll just be cool to see something new.
It will be.
And something different at the hayride.
And they had a brand new event last year, Shaqtoberfest, and I always think sometimes there's only X amount of dollars, and they have to allocate where they did, and I was a little disappointed. Now, it was the part that I thought was odd is when they talked about it, the guy made a huge deal that we listened to the fans' reaction, and I was thinking, oh great, they beefed up all the mazes, they did this. Nope, they were talking about they have new wagons.
Which I am so thankful for, because I was one of those fans that
I get
hated
it.
sitting on the floor.
Correct.
It was
Now
just so annoying. You were sitting on top of people, like you couldn't see out of the side of the wagon, and you were just, your feet were falling asleep, your hands were positioned awkwardly.
Yeah.
So it'll be nice to have a bench or a hay bale or whatever.
So there's
now.
going to be some new wagons, which I think is good. But the part that makes this difficult is if you want to see everything, you have to either sit in the very front, so you can actually look straight ahead and look left to right. Because if you're sitting in one of the other sections, but there is 3 rows.
Yeah.
But they
Left,
always
right,
did
in the
that.
middle. Okay.
Yeah, they always did that. Even on the floor, they shove people in the middle.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
They've never done that for me.
Yeah, they
But
used
you have to
show
ride it
people
twice
on
at
them.
least to see what
Correct.
happens on both sides of the
But
vehicle.
to be honest, I wish they would have used these wagons, the funds for these wagons, to actually make more elaborate scenes
For the
for the hayride.
yeah. What was the best hayride you guys went on last year?
Fear Farm.
Fear Farm.
Fear Farm.
Fear Farm. Unbelievable.
Crazy here.
Yeah.
That one I did not mind sitting on the floor.
Correct. I didn't
There
care
was
where I was
so
at,
much
as long as I was on it. But you had to hold on because it went fast.
It went
fast.
It went fast. It was great.
Thrill ride.
Delusion. There was not a lot talked about Delusion. Super excited.
Nope.
The new name for this year is Delusion Nocturnes and Nightmares. What John Braver came out and talked about is that this is going to be a compilation. It's going to encompass little short portions of every single previous Delusion that they had. So last year was the cult member from the 70s. The year before was the family. It was...
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, The Walker Chronicles, for the super chat. Thank you for giving $1 to Google. Thank you, sweetie. She got his bump. First bump. Yeah, it's yeah. This is my
I am so excited.
this is my favorite thing. Marina, I think's favorite thing.
I am
this
so
year.
excited for this. I hope they bring back. They had one year where you got a letter from the father about something about vampires, and you went into this mansion. There were 3 vampires in there that you were like totally just fighting. It was so cool. The vampires were really cool. The marionette maker that was like 8 feet tall, and you were like running past it was awesome in the past. And then obviously like the cult was pretty cool. I hope they bring that back. Or the old lady with the daughter was awesome too.
Yeah, I'll tell you
I'm talking about previous Delusions.
Delusions,
yes.
Way back.
But I'll tell you it's one of the events where they talk about when you have a LA hayride or a shaqtoberfest, you're getting through thousands and thousands and thousands of people through your event every night. At Delusion, they get through 300 people per night.
Yeah, not
so
a
it is a
lot.
pricey event. They do not allow you to film the actual event. You can film the pre-show, and this is one of the things where you want to get there a good hour early to experience the pre-show and the actors that are in it and experience it. If you go back and look at our video of Covered Delusion last year, I mean, that's a good 20 minutes, and it just covered what happened before we actually got to go on it, and it was still spectacular. Just amazing. So
Marina
we're
says
super
Miss
excited.
Phillips and her daughter Lily, but I remember
Oh.
them as a few years ago, Mrs. Fitzgerald, I think, and her daughter Mary.
Oh, was that a different one?
Different one?
Wow. Yeah, so Miss Phillips and her daughter Lily, that was crazy. The daughter Lily shows up and literally comes leaping up out of a grave.
Oh my gosh. That was like the craziest thing. Like
I
a
can't even
hand just
describe
comes
it.
popping out of the dirt, and I was like, oh, cool animatronics. No, she pulled herself out of the dirt.
Oh,
I was like, what is happening?
I literally had somebody hand me a rifle and I shot them.
Yeah,
And they
totally.
went flying off the porch. and
Totally
into the
worth
backyard.
it.
Yeah, totally worth it.
Marina did say the VIP experience is a must, because what John
is.
was saying was that at their whole slogan at Delusion is you play your part.
Yes.
And I guess during the VIP experience you get to actually do that. You get to actually scare or be a part of the experience in some way. He didn't really go into detail about that, but he said they're trying something new and he hopes it works.
This is the last year at the Phillips Mansion.
Oh, that's right. They said that.
After this, the guy at the booth told me that they're probably going to head back to LA somewhere.
No.
I know.
I hate to drive to Los Angeles.
It seemed like John didn't even want to continue doing it, though, at the panel.
but
That's what I
I-
picked up
well,
on, was
I
like,
think
this
he-
might be the last year
I think
and we're
they
leaving
were-
the mansion. And
I
I was
think-
like, no, please, no.
I think he hates the idea of being forced to give up information now, because part of the whole charm of it is not to share much.
Yeah, not knowing anything about it.
Yeah.
But,
I understand what you mean by that.
So, last year at the Phillips Mansion, the VIP experience, last year it happened in the actual mansion, upstairs. They had a whole mini maze where you had to crawl and stand
In complete
hands
darkness.
and everything.
Yeah.
Creepy. But now the VIP experience is in the back of the mansion, and you're going to be playing a bigger role throughout Delusion. And Noah was saying, oh, I'm talking about the past Delusions, not this one. Well, This one's taking place in 1940, and it's going to have
that's right.
all the delusions of the past.
Yeah.
So
It'll be awesome.
Little highlights from each delusion that John has done.
It'll get us all caught up.
It's gonna be, I hope, incredible, and I can't wait to go.
Before we continue, Kathy said, "Hope this helps."
Oh, Kathy, you didn't
Yes,
have to do
stop
that.
it.
Thank you. I know. I'm. Yeah. We'll talk towards the end. Thank you, Kathy. But yeah, super excited for Delusion. Tickets have not gone on sale yet. Last year they went on sale right at Midsummer Scream.
Yeah,
And they're extremely hard to get. So
they
if
are.
you
If you
want
want
to
'em
do
early.
Delusion, make sure you're like.
And it is
there.
expensive, but you definitely want to pony up the extra money for the VIP
I think
experience.
you do too.
And I'll tell you one thing that we kind of learned. Nico and I learned this last year is that we went one of the very last. We went first as a group, and then we had bought tickets with some friends. Then Nico and I bought tickets for another night, and it was very late. It was the last group of the night, and there was only 4 people in the group, and that was probably the best experience I've ever had there.
What's
Because
cool
the fewer
is
the people was awesome.
we purposely weren't trying to be the last group.
Correct.
We were like the second to last group, and we were doing the pre-show and everything, and the guy was like, "Everybody go out on the porch, you two come with me."
That's right.
And he let us do it with 2 other people. It was super intimate. It was super terrifying.
It was.
We were trying to console the guy that was with us.
Because he was losing his mind.
He was.
He was losing his mind. I mean, you're running through tunnels under the house. You're being chased by monsters. We're hiding under beds, and things are pulling me out from under the bed. It's insane.
People jumping out of graves.
I know,
Literally jumping out of graves.
This is the most excited we've been throughout this entire thing
I think
tonight.
so.
All right.
And one word of advice I can give you for Delusion is if you want the best experience, 1, yes, buy VIP, but 2, try to book out that full time slot for you and your friends.
Yeah.
Like, try to get as many people that you know in that group.
Yeah,
because it
other
kind of
people could
kills it
ruin
when other people go, because you don't know how they're going to act.
Yeah.
Like, all of us get really into it, and we're like, yeah, let's go, we're going to run, we're going to play, but then we got stuck with some people last time that were just kind of like,
boring.
You're not scary, I'm not going to run, I'm not worried about this, and it just kind of
Correct.
killed the overall vibe of
And
the
I
whole
think
thing.
it's bad too, and I understand that to make money, but selling alcohol there I think is a bad idea. Because we were with a group once that actually had been drinking quite a bit, and it just changed the attitude and kind of ruined it for the rest of
I
us.
think so.
Okay, let's go to the next one.
Alcohol at all at any.
This is
event.
Nico's favorite. We are at shaqtoberfest. So shaqtoberfest was their first year last year. It took place in the parking lot in front of the Queen Mary. It was more of a family-friendly event up until about 6 or 7 o'clock. Then it turned a little darker.
Mm-hmm.
They had a couple walkthroughs. They had carnival rides, games, and I actually had a good time.
I loved it too.
Yeah, Marina had a good time. Nico thought it was okay.
I'm happy for both of you.
He wasn't very stoked about it.
My problem with it is I keep going back to Dark Harbor, and I need to stop because that was a different company. That was a
Right.
different.
Mm-hmm.
But these mazes just felt too short. They were mini mazes. You'd walk like 20 yards and it'd be over.
There was one you were in the slaughterhouse in the barn area.
But I mean,
Remember? I thought that was good.
That was a good one, but
they did that on
it's
purpose.
not that
though.
scary hearing Fergie in the bounce house area in the front. Like,
I mean,
know.
they did that on purpose because Chris was talking about how he wanted it to feel like a Halloween festival rather than like a horror haunt
horror
type of event. He wanted it to be like, yeah, there's rides here, and you can eat here, and you can listen to music here, and I guess you can go through little mini mazes if you want.
Yeah, and Chris is the gentleman who runs 13th floor.
Yes.
and I didn't hate it.
Okay. Well, you didn't hate it. It just wasn't one of your favorites. But this year they came out and said it's going to be a darker event than last year. And they also said there's going to be 5 haunted trails this year, with one of them on the Queen Mary, which is crazy. And then they're going to have one single VIP attraction, which will also take place in the Queen Mary. And I think probably the best part about the whole thing is that you can book a room and stay the night on the Queen Mary the night of your event. Mm-hmm. And I can't imagine doing all this stuff, walking through, going through these mazes, having a great time, having some cocktails, doing whatever, and then just going to your room and sleeping on it. Especially considered it's supposed to be self-haunted. And the VIP attraction was supposed to be based on... Was the Haunted Trail is supposed to be based on the Grey Phantom?
Yeah.
Yeah. the Queen Mary used to be a warship, and it was painted gray before it was the steam liner. But yeah, shaqtoberfest.
So the 5 trails they had last year was a pirate themed walk through, and it had like mermaids and pirates, so on and so forth. They had like a what's happening?
Sorry, I just read Michelle's note that you can almost get knocked over by Shaq at one of these events. You can.
If you're Chris.
They had an under the sea theme on the other side, which was kind of weird. Like,
I thought the ship was awesome though.
No.
Theming was
no,
amazing.
it was fine. The monsters were just a little too playful. I just want it more like
yeah, I get it.
in my face.
Yeah, the
scary.
one. Are you talking about near the ship where you went through like the 20s thing where that was bad?
The what?
There was like one, the closest one to the ship.
No,
That was
Oh
bad.
no, that was the Vegas.
Yeah,
That
the
was the
Vegas.
Vegas
That was
one.
bad. That was bad.
And then they had like a carnival one, like in the middle, like in between the carnival and the dance floor area, which was it was fine.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm
am.
excited.
I'm very
But
excited.
the one on the ship, they said, is the longest trail they have, or that they're going to have. But that doesn't really tell me anything because all of these other trails were super short. Oh, and then the slaughterhouse barn one,
Yeah, I thought that was a good maze.
where you listen to Glamorous
The
by Fergie.
It was still a good maze. It was still a good maze.
I prefer it
Um,
with Fergie.
So the last one they announced was something called Magic of the Lanterns. This event looks like Night of the Jack. I think they both had these types of mazes for a while. I'll give you a little preview. They actually have a video for this one that we can share a little bit.
Yeah, this will be super family friendly.
Yeah, super family friendly.
No scares at all.
Let's see if I can get some sound on here. Ready, and they're going to hear both of us, by the way. But you're off the laser pointer. If I can.
No, you're gonna leave it on.
There we go.
Pretty cool.
So let me switch just back to us now. Because we don't need that anymore.
Hey.
Here we are full screen again. And that was kind of the end, which I got off the slide that says end.
End.
It's all right.
Here we go.
End.
So that was kind of it. I know this probably isn't, I'm looking at the amount of people here. We appreciate everybody's here. It's not the most popular video of the type of things we do because we normally don't just focus specifically on one theme. But yeah, I hope everybody's as excited as we are
Yeah.
for this. That magic, the lantern pumpkin thing, is we've been to Night of the Jack a couple times. Marina and I have, and it's fun. We've gone through it as a drive-through. We went through it as a walk-through. The carvings are amazing. The displays they make are amazing. And now we're gonna have a competitor that's gonna be at the Whittier Narrows. So if you don't have to drive all the way, I think it was like in Sherman Oaks or Calabasas.
Like Calabasas. I think.
Calabasas. Yeah, when we first year when we had to stand back and wait for like 40 minutes because the Kardashians were there.
Oh.
I
And they didn't want us
remember.
to go through when they did. So
Yeah, they. Yep.
I'm hoping they don't go to Whittier.
Yeah, don't go to
but
Whittier.
well, I'm sure we'll
Kardashians.
cover that this year as long as we have time in our schedule. I'm sure we'll go to this. It is a fun event and it's more of a family-friendly thing that people will enjoy doing. And they did very, very purposely mention they were going to have some bars set up throughout the maze. So
it'll
now
be a
Noah's
date night
in.
event.
So Noah's in.
So now I'm in. Family
But yeah.
friendly.
They had a little setup over at Midsummer Scream with
Yep.
a lot of jack-o'-lanterns, and they even had the T-Rex
They did.
made out of pumpkins or carved out of pumpkins, which was super cool to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's not really my thing because I'm like hardcore scare me Halloween, but not 17th door.
I was gonna say, are you, Nico?
No, I've thought about it.
I'm taking these guys to 17th door and Marina. They're all going. They have no choice but to go. And it's at the Buena Park Mall this year in a brand new location. So it's going to be incredible.
I need to take some clothes I don't care about. Make
Yep.
sure
Yep.
I want a haircut
Yep.
that night.
Mhm.
But yeah, it looks super fun. It looks like I could like bring my bring Brit, bring
Yeah, you can
maybe bring my dog.
date night. You can do
Yeah.
kids of all, grandma, grandpa, whoever you're going to bring can go to this event. Not 17th Door. The other one. Don't bring grandma to 17th Door. Won't be, you should, Poor
And
grandma.
even if you're not really into super scary things, I would still recommend going to Not Scary Farm since it is their 50th anniversary.
Yes.
Check out the sights, the sounds. If you look scared, they'll scare you. So just try and put on a brave face if you don't like
Blend in.
being scared. But yeah, this year, a lot of anniversaries.
Yes.
And that's just a handful of things we're going to be doing this year. We have a ton more we're going to be covering that I can think of off of the top of my head. So it's all going to be fun. These are
It
just
is.
really
It's gonna be
major
We're
events.
probably, most likely, all of us can be making a trip to Phoenix as well.
I hope so.
There's another
Possibly.
nice haunt out there called Fear Farm. It's not the same one that's in Phelan, but it's hosted by 13th Floor, and then they actually have a haunted house in downtown Phoenix as well.
Yeah.
I think we're all going to try to go out there, hopefully, all together, go out there and see some stuff outside of the state.
It's going to be like that movie where they get on the RV. What is that movie?
Oh,
RV?
the house
With
that
JoJo
October
Levitt?
built.
The house that October built.
I don't know if you guys have seen that movie.
When they all get on the RV to go find haunts, and then the haunts backfire.
we need to create not a new channel, but a different playlist of some horror recommendations. I recommend movies all the time.
Oh, I'm
to
already
guys.
working on that. I'm already working
Yeah,
on that.
there's
So
some-
I'm going to need to
Well, we'll just throw some movies in
just
there.
tell Chris to help me out with some of these.
Yeah, because
But we've been sending movies back and forth to
We
each other.
have.
I have been watching so many Halloween movies.
But the
I have
House
a
That
list
October Built.
compiled.
that's a good one.
That is a
House
good
that
one.
October built.
That's a crazy one.
It is a crazy one. But I think you had something you wanted to say too, right?
Oh.
For those of you who stuck it out,
Yes, for those of you who stuck it out, we have a giveaway.
a giveaway.
A
It is
giveaway.
a Nico giveaway.
Yes. And not because I don't like the event, but I was able to win 2 tickets to shaqtoberfest.
Whoa!
Just general admission, but it's cool. I don't really think you need a VIP thing for that. I don't know if you could upgrade,
No.
but yes, shaqtoberfest giveaway. I'd say you have to be subscribed to all 3 of us to enter. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
And
Oktoberfest is now sold out.
I was just going to go look at, I think that means it's from
I think
last year.
I was going to say.
I was just going to look at a dollar value that you were going to be giving away these tickets. Because they're probably worth $50 each, don't you think? $40?
well, now that they're moving to the ship, it
I would
should
say
be a
probably
lot
close
more.
to it.
Yeah, probably $50 each.
Probably
so.
close to that.
Do you have like the normal rules? Do you want me to throw up the same rules we use?
I
even though it's
think
your
the
giveaway?
same rules.
Well, now I got to bring them up. So
Yeah,
keep
sorry.
talking. No,
But,
it's okay. It's okay. Let me just try to bring it up here.
But yeah, shaqtoberfest is a super fun event. It's more family oriented, even though they did say it's going to be darker this season. It's 2 tickets for you and a loved one, you and a friend. Yeah, so the rules, you must be subscribed to the channel. Not only the Walker Chronicles, but also Entertainment Connection and Disnoahland.
Got to do them all.
You have
Do 'em
to
all.
show proof that you're subscribed to all 3. You have to like this stream. What else? Enter the hashtag once.
Only once,
Or
or
you
get
will
kicked
be
out.
disqualified. You'll have 60 seconds to enter the hashtag. If selected, the winner must not pick a prize, because you know what that
got
prize
the
is.
prize.
But you have to let us know that you are in the chat within 60 seconds, or it's going to be going on to the next person. And the winner must send the information to the Walker Chronicles.
Okay.
So if
it's
that's
gonna
all
go-
right.
No, it's fine with us. Fine with us. But it'll be from Nico.
We will we'll have to decide on a date that you want to go. The cards have a QR code, or not a QR code, a code on it So, well, actually, I could just send you the code.
You can just email them the codes,
Yeah.
and they can use those to
And
redeem
then
it.
you
Yeah,
could
absolutely.
pick whatever date you want. So, 2 tickets, general admission, shaqtoberfest. I think this year's going to be an awesome year. And yeah, let's get into it.
I've set up a hashtag.
Okay.
So all I have to do is hit enter over here, and I'll say what the hashtag is, and we'll give everybody around 60 seconds to enter. And once they're entered, we'll let Nightbot pick a winner. Does that work?
Ooh.
All right, everybody.
Go
the
ahead.
hashtag is hashtag Nico.
Oh.
I know. I thought about that one for a long time before I chose it.
That's
It
a
is in
good
there.
one. I would have never thought of that.
I know. Let's see who enters. Hopefully most people in here live in Southern California.
Yes.
If not, they can give it to somebody. Come on, guys. Somebody wants these things. There we go.
Nobody wants to
Here,
get a
no,
shaqtober.
they are. They're throwing it in there. It's not going to be a lot. Oh. My reservation for Stormwater is in 10 minutes. I canceled it.
Oh, it's like, wow, you're going.
Oh, there we go. I think maybe there's a little bit of a
I think there's a little bit of a delay, too.
Which is
There is,
interesting
there is.
because our stream has been perfectly healthy the entire time.
Yeah,
I dropped it down a little bit. I think we got this figured out.
Because after I explained everything I just read from Marina, just send him the cards. Send him the...
Oh,
The
so we're a
code,
little bit
so-
behind. So we'll give everybody a little bit more time.
Yeah,
We got 16, 17 people in there now that are eligible. Only enter one time. Do not do it twice.
Yeah.
Like Nico said. Give her a little bit extra time just because of the
delay.
We're still getting some in there.
There's a lot of Nikos in the chat.
There's a lot of Nikos, a lot of hashtag Nikos. We about good with that?
Yeah, I'll do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
But the delay's
Hold on, one
really
moment.
10, 9.
I'm here listening to it now. Oh, we're a little behind.
Go ahead. I'm going to do it.
Okay, go, go, go.
In the chat, Morgan W.
Morgan
Morgan
W.
Morgan W has won the
Congratulations.
giveaway.
Nice.
Awesome. Also, you could contact the Walker Chronicles
At the information given on the screen
at
right
the
now.
information given on the screen, or you could just message me on Instagram.
Could do that as well.
You gotta prove that you are subscribed to Noah, the Walker Chronicles, and myself to win the prizes. Congratulations, Morgan! You're gonna have a great
oh my
time.
God!
You and Mother.
Yay!
Yeah, Morgan's gonna
Morgan
have a
won.
fantastic
2
time
tickets to
there.
Shaqtoberfest.
So yeah,
That's awesome.
Woo!
if you want to message me on Instagram, it's Entertainment Connection, all one word, all lowercase, and yeah. Or if you want to email the Walker Chronicles, you could do that also. So you're very welcome. I'm glad you're able to win those tickets. Yay!
Nice.
Congrats.
Nice. So, like we said, this is the first one of these we're going to do. We'll have to come back and do one of the home haunts ones. Maybe even split those up into a couple different areas as well.
Yeah, because there's a lot.
There's
are
a lot.
There's a lot.
There's a lot. We saw how many were in the Hall of Shadows this
Oh my
past week?
goodness, too many.
Yeah, there were a lot of them there. So we're going to get through maybe 8, 9.
Because we got some that are not only here but are down in San Diego that I've been to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last year we did 3 in San
If we
Diego.
go to Phoenix, we got stuff over there that maybe we can stop by and see while we're there. Because I'm
Yeah.
sure they have home haunts there that
sure they do as well.
They put up. So there's a lot. There's a
That
lot,
is
and then there's
awesome.
other things that we just haven't even talked about yet either. So some really cool stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have any last minute thoughts, or are you guys, are we good?
I am okay. If anybody has any questions, this is not
Your
really
last
the final
chance.
Yeah, it's not really the last chance, but if you have any question about any of these huge
Monster
events that we
cars.
have,
What is Monster Cars? Marina says Monster Cars in Arizona.
Oh, so we got to Phoenix. The last time we went to Phoenix, it happened to be the Phoenix Arizona State Fair going on, and we were at the fairgrounds. They had monster trucks racing as well, so we got to try Fairfield. So we had gone out for Fear Farm, and we had a free a free morning until the thing started, so we went to the Arizona State Park. This could work out perfect. It
Monster
could be,
car.
It could be the fair,
I'm
Haunted
down.
House, and Fear Farm. But Fear Farm was big. Fear Farm was big out there. The one in Arizona. So,
I'm excited to check it out. Hopefully,
all right, everybody.
yeah.
I think we're gonna call it.
This was
Thank
a lot
you guys
of fun.
for joining us. It was a lot of fun.
See you at the
We
Knott's event.
love these things.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see you at the
yeah.
Knott's event.
We'll be at the Knott's event.
Maybe
That's like
we
our
have-
next spooky thing, I think,
Yeah.
coming up. That's probably the closest thing we
It
got
probably
to
is
something
going to
Halloween.
be. Yeah, it's towards the end of
coming
August.
up.
Unless we do one of these things and talk about some of the home haunts that we're looking forward to
Oh,
this year.
or that.
We can do that as well. Because we all have videos from a lot of those events that we went to last year that we're planning on doing this year, so we can share some of that as well.
Correct.
I like
And
to do it on.
I'll be trying to continue to post construction updates.
Oh, yes.
From
Make
Horror
sure you
Nights.
follow. Yeah, follow Nico.
Horror
What about
Nights, Not
Midsummer
Scary
content
Farm.
coming out?
Yes, I'm working on my Midsummer.
All of us, I
content
think,
right
have
now.
Midsummer content coming
Yeah,
out.
so
Oh, we absolutely do. Absolutely. I
We're
think
doing a
Marina's,
live tomorrow
Marina's
about
home editing probably right now, or she
Scary
was until
Farm?
this started.
if you can subscribe to all of us,
Please
like
do.
our channel, that'd be great. It'd really help us out. It's free. And yeah.
All right, guys. Until next time, thank you for joining us. If you did like this, like and
Pleasant
subscribe. I think there's probably most of you already do. Make sure you subscribe to Disnoahland and the Entertainment Connection. And we will see you guys next time on the next episode of all three of our channels, The Walker Chronicles,
Disnoahland.
Disno-
Connection.
There we go.
Yay!
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Can they hear us?